Hello, 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 family. How are we doing today? I hope everybody is doing well. I'm just coming back doing lives here. And eventually I'm going to be doing lives on how I'm preparing my move. Everybody knows that in October I will be doing my big move, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm going right now. But yeah, no, it's going to be November 1st. Okay. October 31st, I'm retiring. Yoo-hoo. Yes. And you guys can do it too. And I will be I'm learning now, putting different things in place, some stuff I have no idea, had no idea that I needed to look into. And I'm putting things just in place now. But yeah, it's going to be super exciting. And we're going to do blogs about it. Just a few minutes conversation, not the long blogs at all. Just going to put some stuff out there and kind of, give you some steps on how you can do it. If this is something you want to do, you just don't know how. We're going to talk about different ways of doing it. I know several people that have moved overseas as expats, working and, moving and moved to different places, and they are now working and living there. Okay, so it can be done. And you do have remote jobs, and you don't have to just do the remote jobs that's in the U.S. A girlfriend of mine had some links as far as different links that they could use to get jobs in other countries. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but not today. Also, I am partnering with I don't know if I want to talk about that now, but there is a facility out there that is offering training for, I don't know if I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Okay. They're offering training for HVAC. And I do believe right now, HVAC plumbing is your number one field that you should get into right now. A lot of people are getting into AI. A lot of people are getting into computer work. A lot of people are getting into stuff that really is not going to be of any gain in the future because it's getting oversaturated. A lot of people are going into, IT and stuff, and AI. But HVAC, plumbing, those are some fields that you need to get into where you can have your own business. You're always going to need HVAC. You're always going to need, and also welding. Okay, HVAC, plumbing, and welding. You're always going to need those because you got some people bridges for welding. Welders aren't as prevalent as they used to be. Okay, a lot of people are getting into that right now. They go into these 4-year colleges, getting in a whole lot of debt, where you can go to a trade school, no prereqs, get in and out within under 2 years. Some 12 to 14 months, and you're into your field like that, and not a whole lot of debt. We'll talk about, I'm just throwing some stuff out there that I want you guys to kind of look into today. Hey, you know what, you guys? I keep forgetting this. I have a book. I don't know why I keep forgetting my book, right? But this is my book, A Mother's Love. Okay, this is the workbook. I'm going to show you guys the workbook. Okay, that's the workbook. You can talk. You have questions at the bottom. You have questions at the top, and then you can kind of answer the questions. And a lot of times, healing is writing things out. And I do have a book. It is on Amazon, and I'll put it in the link for you guys. But yeah, it's called A Mother's Love. And we ask serious questions. So if you're not ready for healing, don't do it. Okay. But this is what it's all about right now. I have different questions, and it says just questions as far as the different chapters and stuff that we have. You have to see it before you can have it. How did not having your father present present affect you? Different questions like that you can answer. What is your plan for getting there as far as your dreams and to reach your goals? A dream can only become reality through determination and hard work. Did you feel your mom and dad helped you to accomplish your dreams? What was your dreams, and what are your plans of getting there? So I think this is a really amazing workbook. Okay, it is going to be on Amazon. Okay, we'll put we'll put it in the chat. Okay. But I just never, somebody said, why you don't never advertise your book? I'm like, because I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. But yeah, this is my little book. Yeah, A Mother's Love. So yeah, this is the workbook. And I do have the book. Okay. But I don't have any books right here at the desk. So that's a story of another day for Cassie. I'm just not so used to tooting my own horn or whatever. But somebody asked me that, and I was like, how are people supposed to know if you don't tell them about it. I'm like, well, I don't know. So yeah, so that's why I'm telling y'all about it. Okay, telling y'all about my book. Okay, it's not new. It's just a book that took me a few years to write. Me raising my girls, and just to help people with some different types of parenting styles, and just making sure that people understand that parenting is everything. Okay. And a lot of children are getting messed up because of the lack of parenting, or the parents that just don't know how to parent because they didn't have the right parenting themselves. So wanted to actually talk about a little bit about boycotting African businesses, and why are we doing that? Do you think that's a good idea? I don't. I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. Okay. My thing is, and then I think the thing was, why or why not? Why would you want to boycott your brothers and sisters? And I do call them brothers and sisters because well, like, you can't tell us apart. Okay. I seen a African guy, he was from Cameroon, right, the other day, and I hear your accent, and I immediately, it intrigues me. I met a girl today at the gym from South Africa and talked to her a little bit. She's gonna be my trainer. He was from Cameroon, and I talked to him. I said, hey, where you from? I'm always talking to him, always. And I never get attitude. So I don't think they're thinking about us the way we're thinking about them, like that. Yeah, you have some that don't like you. That's what they say. Well, they don't like you. I'm like, well, black folk here don't like you. So who cares? Black folk here don't like you. So what about it? What's the big deal? Okay. But you still, you have family members that don't like you, and they're black. Okay. But you still, hey, how you doing? You don't try to hurt them, right? Financially. I would never boycott an African business. I would never, because I don't think it's necessary. I don't even know why we would do something like that, because we don't boycott Walmarts. We don't boycott Targets. Well, we have boycotted Targets. We don't boycott McDonald's. We don't boycott a lot of other businesses that we should be boycotting. We don't boycott the police department. We don't boycott the city because of them allowing the police department to do what they do to us. It's just so many other things and people out there that you could be boycotting besides your own brothers and sisters. I don't agree with us hurting each other. Yes, some of them we were raised different. We were raised different. When you don't rock with those, the ones that that are gonna cause harm to you, those are the ones that you don't rock with. But if you know that there are some, I'm sorry, you guys, I don't know what, well, I'm yarning, but if you know that there are some out there that will rock with you, and they've been nice to you and decent to you, and not been trying to disrespect you, and they're really not even thinking about, harming anybody. They're trying to get their groove on. They're trying to work their jobs and try to make their money just like you try to make yours. I don't see why we would try to hurt them financially. I'd rather hurt some other folk financially, like Popeyes, okay, with all that salty darn chicken that they have, like Kentucky, with all that salty darn chicken, okay, like McDonald's eating human parts, okay. Why aren't we boycotting those businesses instead of boycotting your own? I just don't. I just have an issue with people talking about black folk, talking about hurting black folk economically. I just have an issue with when I see black folks saying, "Oh, but we're not African." Then I'm like, what? How? Who? We are the only ones that we are the only ones that deny our history, right? I don't see the ooze talking about, oh, we didn't have the Holocaust. I never hear them say that. I think white folk drop the rock, throw the rock at us, and we pick up the rock and we run with it. I think that was started by white folk. I do. I believe a lot of these arguments are started by them, and they want to see division. That's just something they would do. I just believe it. I don't care what nobody said. That is something that I do believe, that they throw the rock and hide their hands. And what we do, we pick up the rock and we run with it. I'm not picking up your rock. You can have that rock. I'm not thinking about boycotting my own brothers and sisters. I will never hurt them financially. And I hope that they wouldn't hurt us financially either. We talk about the AU and talk about, oh, they're taking money. And I'm like, governments don't talk to government. I mean, governments talk to governments. Governments don't talk to person like Cassie. The government would call up Cassie and say, hey, Cassie, what do you think about reparations? The government talks with other governments. And if we're smart and they say that AU is actually going to try to get reparations for us, I think we should have a representative, okay, that we know has a heart for Black people, that would work together as a group with AU and get us reparations. I do believe that we should have a representative that will go to AU and say, hey, this is what we want for Black people, and this is what we want for, this is the reparations, and this is why. And we help them do the teamwork. We help them do the investigation or whatever it is that they need for us to get the reparations that we deserve. I don't believe in us just saying, oh, we're not going to do it. We're going to write a paper. We're going to boycott them. We're going to come against them because they're trying to get you reparations. We think they're going to steal your money. Who else in America is trying to get reparations for you? That's my question. Who else in this country is trying to get reparations for Black people? And when they do try, they want to underball you. They want to, give you an amount like $1 billion, $1 million. No, it should be in the trillions. Okay, they should be talking about getting us $100 billion. No, they should be talking about trillions of dollars, like $20 trillion. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But we have, we don't have any representation. But then I see them say, well, we need to sign a paper to get to. I'm trying to see. They had a paper where they were going to sign a paper so that we can come against the AU for helping us to get reparations. I don't know. Make it make sense. None of this sounds right to me. I don't know if it sounds right to you, but none of this sounds right. Not something I want to even participate in. I don't even want to think about us going against our own because they want to help us to get reparations. Did that make sense to you? It didn't make sense with me just saying it, but that's what we're trying to do. And I don't understand that. I don't get it. Either we want it or we don't. So if somebody's going to help us to get it, why not let them help you to get it? We just have a contract with them that once you get, this is what, you get this amount and this amount goes to us and we're going to do this, this, and this with it. We don't just come against somebody that's, it sounds like the Democratic Party when Trump got in the first year and they said, no, we're not going to support him. We're not even going to go to the meetings. We're not even coming to the table. And I'm like, you want something from him or not? Somebody can't come to the damn table for us to talk. Seriously, that don't make no sense. But I don't know. The whole lot of stuff people do right now makes no sense to me. And I'm looking at them side eye like, I don't trust you. Democratic Party, I don't trust him anyway. But I'll never vote for them anyway. Democrat, red or the blue, I would never. Now we want to get our own, maybe, but and that has to be somebody that we bred, okay, that came up with us from the ground root, okay, somebody that has a heart for Black people. But yeah, some of the stuff that's happening, I'm looking at it side eye, and I'm like, that don't make sense. Why are we doing stuff like that? So no, I would never, ever, 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 ever boycott my brothers and sisters. I have an issue with that especially when I hear people say, well, we're indigenous. Everybody wasn't indigenous. Everybody was not. And then those Indians didn't like your ass either. Okay. Are you sitting up there talking about Africans don't like you? Indigenous people didn't either. Okay. So I mean, this whole headspace stuff is just too much for me because I'm like, okay, Indians didn't like you. Africans, you say, don't like you, but the Indians show you they don't like you. But the Africans, some do, some don't. But even with Black people here, some do and some don't. We don't say anything. We just go along with it, right? And then I heard, well, the Indians said, well, we're going to get reparation. No, they want us to sign. They're accepting us as indigenous now. And I'm like, okay, what's that about? All of a sudden. So does that mean that when we apply and they get reparations, that because you say that you're Indian now, that you won't be getting reparations? That's what I think that has something to do with. So they're all in cahoots together. So as many Black folk that sign that paper that says I am an indigenous and I'm not African, when the reparations come, you're not going to get any money because you signed that paper and you've gone online or in public and said, hey, I'm indigenous and I'm not African. That just makes no sense to me. But I think that's some white supremacy stuff also that's behind the hand is hidden on that too. They're throwing the rock and hiding their hands, and that's what white folk do. But I do believe that that's some white supremacy stuff, because if they have you sign a paper and then they give you reparations, then you want to come and get reparations, but they'll say, no, you're Indian. You said you were Indian. So now you've just cheated yourself out of something that's that your ancestors should have gotten, but they didn't get. But you've just cheated yourself out of a blessing. But that's the story of another day. That's just not something that I'm gonna do. I'm not signing anything talking about I'm an Indian. I'm not signing anything saying I'm not an African, because DNA don't lie, and DNA, doesn't matter where you were born. Okay. You have white Afrikaners is what they call themselves, that will tell you that I'm more African than you are. Bitch, you ain't more African than me, because my DNA came from there. So how are you more African than I am? I have DNA that says African DNA, Nigeria or Gambia or Ghana or whatever. You can't be more no more African than I am. If your DNA says Germany, Russia, Poland, and I don't see nowhere in there that it says African or African anything. So how are you? Because you were born there, that makes you more African than me? No, my lineage, my DNA says that that's where I'm from. Okay, and as soon as I get over there, I'll learn the culture. So guess what? I'll be more African than you are. Okay, with the color, with the culture, the traditions. Then once I learn them, but no, because you were born there does not mean that you're African. And that's just so funny, and how people say that. And I'm looking at them like, how can you say that you're African? Because you were born somewhere. I'm born in America, but I don't consider myself an American. All of this crazy stuff that we've gone through in this country, no, I'm just owning this country, especially if I'm up and out. Okay, I'm not gonna, but that's the craziest part about us really understanding who we are and where we came from. If you don't understand the bigger picture of what we see and what's going on and who you are and where you came from and the foundation, that's when you have people doing so much teeter and turning. Well, I'm this and I'm that and I'm African and I'm not and I'm this and I'm that. You have people all over the place because they really just don't know. And they're not going to teach you if you don't do the homework and do your DNA. And I don't believe that when I take a DNA test, I'm gonna see, oh, I'm 1% 1% European, I'm 1% Scotland, I'm 1%. The hell with all that. I'm denying all that. I don't give a damn about them folk over there. I don't want to be 1% nothing to them. Nothing. I don't want any part of their DNA in me. But I'm gonna tell you what, after 3 generations of no mixing, your blood goes back to normal. So when they talking all that noise, that's just something that they do. I don't believe all of that. If we really took a really good blood test, it wouldn't show all of that, because after, like I said, after 3 generations no mixing, then your blood it cures itself. Then that's just natural. Hey, DMP, how are you? Welcome. Like and share as you come in. So yeah, I don't understand that African stuff. I'm not, so many black folk I'm hearing talking against African people. I don't agree with that. I do not. I'd rather for us to team up. Do you know what we can do in this country if we teamed up with some Africans? That they want you so divided, and we are doing what they want us to do, fighting against each other. Talking about I'm gonna boycott their businesses. Why would you run them out of the business instead of running some of these white folk like Starbucks out of business? And then because this is our time, we can pool our monies together and open up our own. Thank you. Open up our own businesses. We can open up our own grocery stores. We have grocery stores right in Georgia. Let's support them, but let's not run out our brothers and sisters. Let's support them. Run out Walmarts. Okay, we can have a black Walmarts. Run out Starbucks. We can have a black Starbucks and call it the best bucks or something. I'm just saying we can take over, pull our monies together. Because I'm gonna tell you what, Black Wall Street wasn't started on us voting. It was started by them pulling their monies together, and that's what we need to do: pull our monies together, even with them, and come up with a business. Okay, you don't cut your nose off, spite your face, because you need your face. You need your nose to go along with your face to breathe, right? So you want us to cut off our nose, which is the Africans, and because we all look alike for real. If I stand up to an African, okay, just like I seen the sister today, if her and I stood together, she not talk, I not talk, you wouldn't know that she's from South Africa. You wouldn't know. You would know it. You would think she's from here. I'm just saying, because it's time for us to understand that we're all the same. There's no different. They were just born there, but our ancestors was born there, so we're part of that too. Just because you grew up here does not mean that you're not part of that over there. You're still part of that over there. Your DNA says so. We still have relatives. Do you guys know we still have relatives over there? We still have cousins. We still have relatives over there. Or distant cousins, distant somebody, different uncles, aunts and uncles, right? Distant somebody's, because just say, for instance, when my granddaddy got captured, okay, and he had sisters there. So we still have aunts over there, okay, or aunts' children. To what, so like 4 or 5 generations, we still have children, aunts, and cousins over there. And you say you're not African. That don't make sense to me. I've been trying to. I wish somebody would come over here and tell me what sense does that make. I wish somebody would help me to understand that because I don't know what it means. And a lot of people aren't ready for this conversation because they want to tell, yeah, I'm Indian. Indians don't like you either. So you say Africans don't like you, Indians don't like you. So what are we doing here? You're gonna run after people that don't like you. We'll run after white folk. We'll run after some white folk, honey. I mean, we will run after them, honey. Please, master, please, 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 master. Okay. We'll run after some Indians that told you, woo, 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 I don't like you either. Please, master, help me, please. Okay. But then your brother and sister, you giving them the middle finger. And even with them over there, how they open their doors, like I'm seeing Kenya, they're opening their doors for the UN, right? I think that's a bad idea. But I do believe that Kenya's president needs to be unseated. I do believe that they need to get rid of him. I do believe that he don't need to be president of nobody's country right now. As long as you've given away your country, and long as you've sold out the people, look like you've sold your people out, then yes, you need to be unseated, honey. Burkina Faso is the only president right now that I would trust. Burkina Faso. And I think somebody like that needs to take over Kenya, because right now Kenya's president is not doing good. He's getting ready to bring all them UN people. You'll bring them in, but you won't bring us in. You won't give us citizenship. You won't build us homes and build, all these, businesses and stuff that he's doing for the UN. He's not doing that for us, but you're doing it for white folk that you think is your friend. Oh yeah, let me tell you something about white folk, honey. They don't come to be friends. They come to take over. So I'm gonna tell you what, if you see some white folk, and you tell them, oh, come on in here and get a seat on my board. Trust and believe me, honey, before it's all over with, they're going to be the president of that company. I don't know how it happens. I'm telling you, them demons don't come, honey. They don't come to share their power, honey. They come to take it all. And I'm telling you what, Kenya, y'all better watch yourself before you break yourself, honey. You better watch yourself, because you got all them. Look at what you're bringing in now. What comes with them is bestiality, pedophilia. Okay. What comes with them is homosexuality, LGBT. Okay, you're not just getting a person, you're getting the demons with the person. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what, I always believe that those were Satan's children. I don't care what nobody say. You can say what, you ain't gonna never convince me they not, because they come to kill, steal, and destroy. Whose attributes are those? Who comes to kill, steal, and destroy? Demons, devils. And whose attributes are they showing? Demons and devils. So whose children are they? Demons and devils. I'm just saying. I just don't believe. No. They come to steal, kill, and destroy, honey. They don't come to share power with you, especially people that think they're above anyway. And them UNs, how they was going in Africa and they was raping them girls, having them babies to them girls, then they was running back to UN. They got a whole lot of babies over there, because back in the day, the UN was in Africa big time. And them girls were selling their bodies, and they was having sex with them girls, leaving them babies, honey. As soon as the girls would tell them they was pregnant and would try to get the money and let them know that they were pregnant, honey, men were gone, honey. They was back in their country doing them. And they had this big old lawsuit. I remember they had a lawsuit against the UN. And some of them girls were supposed to get paid, and they never got, even to today, they never got paid. But nobody went after that money either. Nobody went after that money. But see, I'm going to tell you, sometimes we got to look up for our own. We got to protect our own. I see a whole lot of African countries protecting foreigners more so than your own, and doing your own any kind of way. Remember that young woman who got beat in the head with a hammer, right? And the guy seen him, and he testified for her, and they ended up dropping the charges because guess what? They had money. They paid the government off. But my thing is, we have to stop doing that. We have got to start taking money over our sisters, over our brothers, over our own. All they got to do is offer you millions of dollars, and you take it, and okay, you forgiven. Okay, I see no evil, I hear no evil. Nothing over here. No, let's stop doing that. We got to stop. We have got to stop. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to you. And I want to bring up one more thing, and I want to read something to you. I've been hearing people talk about delineation. What does that mean? I really want to talk about that too. I know I wasn't going to talk about it, but I think I am, just for a little bit. I don't want to be on here a whole long time. I want to know, what is delineation? I just want to talk a little bit. I asked Chat GPT what that meant, and the meaning he gave me: delineation means clearly defining and outlining something, like drawing a boundary or making distinctions, right? In a culture, economic, and social content, it means separating your identity, values, and systems from others, establishing your own path instead of blending in or following existing dominating norms. Hey, Willie, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking a little bit about African boycotting, and now we're on the delineation. Just for a minute, I just want to talk a little bit about delineation because I heard Phil talking about us delineating. Do you guys agree with that or not? I do agree with that. I do agree that right now is our time, but I wanted to get a more of an understanding of what they meant when they said we should delineate. So it says when you ask about the delineation in terms of African Black Americans, it's about drawing clear lines between what you do for ourselves versus what society expects or profits from. Listening to that, okay? Reclaiming and redefining our own institutions, practices, values, and goals instead of being absorbed into broader systems that often exploit or overlook us. And that's true. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be reclaiming and redefining our own institutions, like our own history, educating our own children. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our own doctors and nurses will stop taking care of FBAs and better watch out. Okay, why are they doing that? Because who told you that? Did they tell you that, or you believe in what you heard? A lot of times we're believing what we've heard from other people, but my thing is they have taken an oath. So guess what? When I go to I don't hardly go to the doctor anyway, but if you do go, this is why we don't create enemies. And right now, Trump is creating a whole lot of enemies for all of these other countries that we're trying to go to. Trump has created so many enemies in Mexico. Right now, they are planning to boycott businesses, American businesses in Mexico. They're boycotting, they're tearing them down. They're coming against the Mexican business owners Americans that live in Mexico right now. They've been coming against them. So why are we recreating enemies for ourselves? We need each other. We're going to need each other. Don't you know? Do you see Irish? Hold on. I know I was talking about this delineation, but I want to talk about 5 points what they just said. Do you not know you're creating enemies for your future? Do we understand that we're going to need each other more so than ever before? So why are we recreating more enemies? We have enough enemies here without looking at our African brothers and sisters and saying, I don't like you either. What the hell did they do to you, 5-star? What did they do to you? What did you do? Well, I've met doctors from Nigeria who are very nice. I've met, then the ones that are serious, they're not thinking about mistreating FBAs. The ones that are really true people and really gonna rock with us, because all Africans, I'm not saying all of them gonna like you, but all of them aren't gonna dislike you either. You have Black people here that will delineate from you, that will stop taking care of you. Look at the Black police officers on police force. Well, look at that. We've seen some crazy stuff with them. Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but I didn't hear a doctor, I didn't hear a nurse or a doctor tell me that if something happens to me and I need them, that they're not going to take care of me. White doctors doing that to you anyway. So why are we creating more enemies for ourselves? And that's what we're doing when we sit up there and we go against our own. We won't have anybody, and then you create enemies amongst the men and women, Black men and women. That's crazy. Who we gonna have, you guys? That don't make no sense to me. I just cannot make sense of that. And you talking about something? Are these, whose talking points are these? Where are they getting these talking points from? Where 5-star? Did you hear them personally say that to you? Or are you going by what you hear? I'm not going by what I hear. I go by how people treat me. I go by what I see them do to me, how they treat me. Because I think a lot of this stuff is pressed on. It started by white supremacy. They throwing the rock and hat in their hands. And we so dumb that we'll just catch the rock and run with it without any proof. We'll run with that same rock that somebody white that threw to you and said, well, you know, I heard that they said they're going to do da, 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 da. And then it could be a Black face, but a white person behind that internet picture that's telling you just what you just told me. I don't believe it. I need to hear it out of their mouths. And even if I hear it out of one person, one Black person's mouth, that's that one person. What about the rest? Are all you guys agreeing with this? I'm sure that there's a doctor out there that's willing to stand on his hypocritical oath. Hypocritical, did I say that right? That's willing to stand on his oath and gonna be the doctor that we need him to be. I'm just saying. I just don't believe certain stuff like that. I don't. That's not our heart. That's some white folk shit. That's some white supremacy stuff. Okay, that they gonna stop taking care of FBAs. Well, then you should stop messing with them. How about that? This is some crazy stuff. I just don't understand stuff like this. I don't. I try to get it, but I don't understand it, you know, but that's the story of another day. So I'm going to continue talking about delineation and how do we delineate? Delineate. Okay. So it says reclaiming, redefining our own institutions, okay, practices, values, and goals. And that's what we need to do. We need to get back in here and start educating our own children, redefining our goals, values, morals, right? Practices. We need to start redoing that because I know right now our goals look like crazy. They look craziness. It look crazy. Okay. Instead of being absorbed into border systems that often exploit or overlook us. Okay. How do we delineate? How do we do it successfully? Here are a real breakdown of what that might look like. Define core values and cultures. Okay, that's one of them. It says build and support our own systems, businesses, education, teach our own history truthfully and fully. Then it says business wise, spend intentionally with Black owned businesses. That means that we support our own. This is what we need to be doing. We have to support our own. We have to educate our own businesses. And also, they talked about the healthcare, trust and build spaces with cultural competent care. Then it also talked about the media, talked about practice economic separation where necessary, create circulation loops where the Black dollar stays within our community. That's, I mean, come on now. We can't, that's what we should be doing. Use banks, create banks, investment groups, and corporations that are Black owned or mission aligned. I'm just saying, get organized around and land ownership and industrial. Okay, I believe this. What do you guys understand this, or you believe in this? Okay, be unapologetic about it. Stop asking for permission to exist. Lead and thrive. Normalize creating for us, by us, spaces without needing to explain or defend them. That's so true because so many times I see these Karens and we want to do something like separating, and they go, oh, you bring it back, you trying to go back to, yes, we trying to take it back because y'all don't know how to act. And that's what I be saying. Yes, we try to take it all the way back to where we don't have to do anything. We don't have to talk to you guys. We don't have to see you guys. That means our own businesses, our own land. That's what our ancestors had us doing in the first place, right? Our ancestors had us separate for a reason. And what did? We gave it all back. I don't want it. Take it. I'm going over here and I'm going to be with my cousin Karen, Betsy, Ken. Okay, right? Delineation is fine, but boycotting Black tether business is greater too far. Going to business. Tethers will clap back if FBA businesses. Exactly. So what are we doing? I totally agree. Why will we do that? We need to love our Black families in America and Africa. We need one another. Yes. I'm so glad that you guys are saying this. I don't understand when I see people talking about, I'm a boycott my own. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. When you talk about boycotting, and I know I was trying to talk about boycotting, but I want to get on some delineation, but I think I need to stay on this boycotting, but maybe next week I'll do the delineation thing because you guys got some great points here, and it talks about we need to love our own. And I do believe that, but even with delineation, we're still talking about stop, like supporting our own businesses, okay, creating our own communities, and just being there for one another. And it says also stop asking for permission to exist, lead, and thrive. We've been asking for permission. Stop asking. We've been asking for reparations. Stop asking. It's time to take, because I'm gonna tell you what. When they wanted the civil rights bill, they was burning stuff down. Black folk was serious. They was burning shit down. I mean, I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying what they was doing, right? And it worked. I've never seen white folk give Black folk anything without us taking it. I'm just saying. So if it's something that you want, we have to take it. Okay, we have to start treating them the way they treated us, just like that white guy. And I'm gonna show you a video. God, I got so many. Boy, I'm getting on so many cycles, you guys. Hold on, I got just one point. You remember the guy that got beat up in Cincinnati? Did you guys see the real video? The real video was that he started it. He threw the first punch. We know that, but it's actually on video. And I sent it to a buddy of mine. Okay. He threw the first punch, and the guy that he punched was not the guy that he was first arguing with, because he was finna fight another Black guy, right? And another Black guy walked up to the man, y'all stop doing it. We ain't finna do that, and blah, 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 blah. So then another guy, that was walking past, he slapped him. This dude was trying to fight the whole crowd. So when that senator said he got his behind, he was begging for that whooping, He was really begging for it because he was trying to fight everybody black out there like he gonna beat up the whole world. And he got his ass handed to him. And I was so glad. And the woman got hers handed because you shouldn't have jumped in the first place. You should have set your ass down. Becky gonna show protect her man, ain't she? And get her little ass towed up. I know she wouldn't. She would think. I don't know. I don't think she was thinking about that one. Well, if I hit somebody, if I do that, I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get knocked the hell out. She got knocked the hell out. I'm just saying. But that was the best thing. That was the best fight ever. I'm sorry. I believe and do it. And then they had the nerves to get mad at us. But I said, but didn't you remember how you treated us? How did you treat us? How have you been treating us? Talking about that's some what they say. That's some hoodlum shit. I'm like, y'all, hey, y'all been rioting and tearing up shit since the beginning of time. We learned it from you. I'm just saying, we learned it from you. So when you talking all that crazy talk, we ain't listening to that. I'm just saying. But okay, I'm gonna try to stay on target. I'm gonna try. I have two subjects I'm trying to talk about, so I go back and forth. But I think delineation is real good, but I don't think we should be delineating from African Americans, African businesses. I think we can support them and they can support ours and we can support each other. We can shut this shit down with this white America. We can shut all that shit down. We can shut down Walmarts. We can shut it down. Yes, they did, didn't they? That was the best fight, boy. I've been watching that thing over and over. And when she got in there and got her ass knocked, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know Cassie crazy. Y'all already know I love to see some stuff like that because I believe that it is time for black people. But the sad part about it is they allowed the white dude to get away with. Now he should be arrested. He should have been the first one arrested because he was the one that threw the first punch. So you're gonna not arrest him, but you're gonna arrest everybody else that kicked his ass because he started it. You can't you can't arrest him. You can't arrest the black dudes that was helping out. But I heard that Cincinnati has a stand your ground law that even if you try to retreat, once you try to retreat, that they can literally kill you. So that means if somebody punch you in the face in Cincinnati and you shoot them dead, you stand in your ground. Literally, that's what the law means. They just put that law in practice. They just put it on the books. So, but you know how it is for us. We can't stand our ground. They can't. But I'm going to tell you what, I would use that. My turn, you better use that. This is the law. Since when we're not going by the law? Because I'm black. Oh, I throw that out. Boy, they would be I'm still sick of her. She always pulling the race card. I'm going to pull that card every time I see it being used. Yes, I am, because Cincinnati just had a law, and they said that stand your ground means that even if I throw a punch and I decide, okay, I'm trying to run and I'm going to retreat, and if I shoot you down dead while you're running, I don't go to jail because you started it. And that's what the white guy did. I'm like, y'all better learn your law down there, honey. Y'all better learn your law. Because he started it. He hit the first punch, right? He punched somebody, and he didn't even punch the guy that he was trying to fight. I guess the guy that was front of him was too big or something. He wanted to fight him. So the guy walking past, he just punched him. And it just went from there. He was trying to fight the whole, you're Superman now, huh? Crockett, sit down. This ain't your world. This is not your world. We built this bitch. We built this. Okay? So you can have a whole seat. I'm just saying. You can have a whole seat. You're trying to run a whole world. He got knocked out. Oh my God, that was the funniest thing. I'm like, okay, see, he used to that. That's what they like. Them white folk like stuff like that. They love stuff like that. So hey, let's give it to them. You want to fight? Come on up in my face and hit me first. All you gotta do is hit me first, and I'm gonna take it from there. Don't play. I don't believe in hitting first. I don't. Hey, go ahead and get your lick, because I'm gonna get mine. But they want to hit and run. They want to throw the rock and then hide the hands and look at you like you crazy when you slap the hell out of them. Now they the victims. Get out of here. That shit work. That don't work no more. Get out of here. You should have kept your hands to yourself. You should have kept walking. Period. You ain't gonna sit up here and slap somebody and then somebody slap you back. Now you crying. You know how some of them kids do. Mama, so-and-so hit me, but did you hit her? Yeah. Okay, then sit down somewhere. Keep your hands to yourself. But they weren't taught how to keep their hands to themselves. They was taught you can do what you want to do to us. You can do what you want to them black folk, and they ain't gonna do nothing back. No. Oh, times are changing. But I do believe, you guys, I do believe this from my whole heart that we are going to have a civil war. I do believe that. I do. Because the news is egging this shit on the news. Because do you think that that was two white guys fighting, they would have blew it up the way they did? No. because you remember the black guy that was in the bar. I don't know who's seen this. Let me know if you guys seen this. Did you see her eyes look like Beetlejuice? Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes. Y'all stop commenting because then I get off focus when y'all start commenting. I'm sorry, but she was, yeah, she was. I don't know. She had all in men, and you gonna try to get out there and fight all in men. You need to stop. You need to stop. She was one punch. She was out, wasn't she? Like Beetlejuice. Yes, they did look like Beetlejuice. I'm sorry. Oh my God, y'all. See, y'all be commenting, then I get off focus. I'm gonna try to eat. I have to ignore. Y'all go ahead and comment still, but I can't watch y'all comments because I lose my train of thought because that is funny. She looked terrible, didn't she? I'm sorry. She looked terrible, boy. She was, oh my God, her ass look, she look a mess. She look she look a mess. Y'all stop. Oh my God. Ooh, she looked terrible, didn't she? One hit and her eyes was like looking crazy. Well, you know what? This is can I join? Yes, you can. Who is this? You got to show your face. If you want to come up here, you got to show your face because I'm not dealing with no craziness. Okay, I'm gonna put the link out there, but you better show me your face first before you come up here because I'm not messing with you. Y'all can forget that. We ain't doing all that crazy stuff tonight. I'm gonna copy the link. I'm gonna put it in there, but if you don't show your face, you ain't coming up. I'm telling you now. So be ready to show your face, booby buttercup. You ain't coming up here with no shenanigans, honey. I ain't got no time for it. So that's your link. Show your face first. Come up here. Let me see your face. And then you can cover it back up if you want to. Because you looking crazy. You ain't coming up here. Okay? Because you ain't finna interrupt my flow here. Okay? So yes, you can join the panel. Come on up. I'm going to see what you got to say. But you got to show your face. So if you don't show your face, you ain't coming up. Okay? So whoever want to come up, show your face, come on up. Y'all want to have a couple comments? We can have a couple comments. But I'm just saying, this is what white folk do. They want to throw the rock and hide their hands and then look crazy. Like I was talking about the dude in the bar. Remember the dude in the bar where the black guy, he was drinking with these, and see, this is why you stop going around them with by yourself, because that emboldens them, right? Nobody made a big deal out of this. It was the black guy was at the bar, and I guess he was supposed to pay his bill. He was trying to pay his bill or something, and he was still trying to drink or whatever. And they said I heard them say, pay your bill. Unusual business. What's it? Are you black? Okay. I'm just wondering. Okay, you can come on up here. Don't be acting crazy now. Why you showing me? Okay. Hold on. I'm going to add you on stage, but hold on. But I just want, hold on, unusual business. But remember the guy was black, right? And he said, they said, pay your bill. And they just started swarming him and beating him up, just kicking his butt. Remember? That okay, they didn't make a big deal out of that. So why are they making a big deal out of this? No, it was okay. Nobody said anything when them crackers was beating up on that brother, did they? But now all of a sudden, this brother got this white dude got his, he went to sleep. His wife went to sleep too, and they got beat up. So then now you're making a big deal. But let me ask you a question: if it was black on black, would they have made a big deal? If it was a white dude and a black guy, would they have made? No, they wouldn't have. They done this happened before, and that bar fight was maybe about maybe a month ago, if that. But nobody knew about it, did they? But go ahead, unusual business. What's your comment?
Hey, what's up, ma'am? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite fine. When it comes to this scenario with like different things, like I at first I used to be more on the like some of these FBA people are a little too harsh, and I do believe some of the people are being incredibly mean. But as I've been watching from the shadows, I'm starting to understand why it's that level, right? Because for me personally, I just got off TikTok live probably an hour ago, right? So I'm gonna go over two scenarios. One video I saw in a scenario, so I'm gonna go through it real quick, right? They had some guy from Jamaica, right? For now, granted, I ain't got nothing against Jamaicans, but I got a partner. If he called me and say, "Hey, somebody touched my family," I'm riding down out of Jamaica and we about to put somebody down. Right. So I say that in all honesty. So I don't want nobody thinking like I ain't got no Jamaican partners. And he lived in Jamaica. I've been going out. I've been visiting him since we was 15. My mama know his mama. My daddy know his daddy, kind of thing. Right. So it ain't no problem between me and him. Cool. Right. So, but they had one Jamaican guy. I think he went out somewhere in Wyoming or some white little part of the United States. Right. With his little car and truck, whatever, right? And he basically got into it with some white dudes, whatever, right? He basically kind of ganged up on him a little bit, right? And then they flipped his trailer over, right? They flipped his whole rig over, right? Now, you know, if you don't know that's like a couple 100,000 pounds. This is a lot of weight, right? They flipped his rig over. He had a whole incident, right? And people was upset about it, right? But then you see the video. He's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir."
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, right. But when I first seen it, I was like, "Damn, this dude is real apologetic." Like that would have been me, bro. Like for me, like it's like, well, like because I'm gonna be honest, we got a short fuse out here for shit like this, right?
Yeah.
So I immediately, what I was seeing, I was like, dude, he don't sound, he acting different, right? Like, cause if you got a short fuse, like some of this stuff, I'm like, hey, bro, if it comes down to it, I may be leaving, but I'm taking 4-5. You coming with me, boy.
Yes. But let me ask you something. Was that the guy that came up missing? Isn't that the same man that came up missing though?
I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. Like this was a big thing. It was like a thing where they flipped his rig over, and I think he had to I think he got back home safe. So the dude, so this can't be somebody. It's probably somebody else, right?
Okay, cool.
So that thing, and I'm like, okay, so you know when you see Jamaicans, hey, bro, bumper clock, you ain't gonna do me like that. Okay, cool, bro. It's for white dudes. But for me, I stay strapped. Okay. Repeat this. I stay strapped. Right there. I got my AR. I will show you my AR-15, but I don't want you loud to get taken down.
No,
right?
No, don't do that.
So me, I keep my AR and I keep my pistol on me all the time if I'm driving, no matter where I'm at, because I understand the world can be a dangerous place.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people need to know that they need to. We've been talking about telling Black folk that right now, to keep your candy bars with you at all times.
Keep your candy bars with you.
Your candy bars and your peanuts with you. Okay, don't play with me. Yes, pay for a pass. But go ahead.
All right, and then so I was like, okay, all right, everybody talk game time. Everybody talk, tough talk. But when that pressure on you, when it's time to either step up or fold, a lot of these immigrants or foreigners, they fold, right? Okay. Right. The difference between us is that when they had the ability, we didn't have it was either do or die, right? Yeah. So when you didn't do it, you died, right? Yeah. So when you have that kind of mentality, when you get confronted by stuff, it is what it is, right?
But you but do you understand why they are the way they are? They've been colonized also, but I think we just a little bit tougher over here than they are over there. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's in their land, but their government, even though they're Black government, they still know that they're going to, and even with the same way here, but I think we're just a little bit tougher than they are. I don't know, but I don't know. I just think we're just a little bit tougher though,
Yeah. I understand that, right? Like, hey, was it a hard time forged or a strong man? That's been the saying since a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw that, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I kind of, I let that go, right? But then under the Undertaker, they try to make it seem like this was a Black American dude that this happened to, and that we need to be all up in arms, right? But then the same Caribbean people will be like, oh, so and so, we watch our own, so forth and so on. Okay, this your moment to shine right now, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally, this is your moment to show us, what you about. Now, that situation, right? I'm gonna go to the second situation, right? On that situation, it was we as a Black people, as a unit, need to stick together. Now, bro, you Jamaican, bro, go ahead and handle it. Now it's your time to be step on your own 2 feet. Now, I don't know, right? So that was one scenario, right? And me, I personally, I go to African restaurants all the time. Mm-hmm. I live out here in Atlanta, right? I ain't never had my personality. I'm about 5'10", about 200 pounds solid muscle. So I ain't that big of a dude, but I ain't that small of a dude either, right?
Okay.
But so I want to set the stakeholder. When I'm around African people, I don't have no problems. When I go to African restaurant, don't nobody say nothing to me, bro. They know me by they know me by face and by name when I go there, right?
So would you say that they all, I wouldn't say all of them hate us, just like I look at black folk here. You have some black people here that hate you, but I'm gonna rock with the
Oh
ones
yeah,
that rock
definitely.
with me. But I'm not gonna boycott my own brother's businesses to make them go out of business, but you're not boycotting Walmart's. You're not
Exactly.
boycotting Starbucks. You're not boycotting Victoria's Secrets. So why would you even
Exactly.
think about boycotting your own brothers and sisters who worked hard to get here, hard to have their business? I mean, we could work together. You pull with us, I pull with you. You support us, we support each other, and we can run these crackers out of business. And that's what the problem is. That's what they're afraid of. They are
Yeah,
afraid. And I'm gonna tell you what, I think some crackers, some white folks started this mess right here. I do believe that. I
I
think
do
they
believe it too.
threw the rock, hid the hands, and now they got us going after each other. But I'm like, y'all, come on, we got to come together because we can shut them down. We can shut
Yeah.
Walmart's down. Do you hear me? We can shut all of these
Oh,
American white-owned businesses down. Don't give them one dime, one red cent of your money, and go support your
which I,
brothers and sisters who already have businesses already established.
which I would be definitely more willing to work with an African, right? And I have
Mhm.
me personally, like I said, when I go to these businesses, when I'm like when I tell you, when I go to these African restaurants, they know me by name. Now
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say my name because I'm gonna
No,
coming out seeing me because
don't do that.
don't run up on me, boy. But like what I'm saying is when they know me by name when I come to these restaurants, I never had a problem with these folks, right? When I'm working at my job, when I'm working with the nurses, right? I do paramedic, I'm a flight paramedic, right? So when
Oh,
I'm there and I'm talking to the nurses that's there, like they flirt with me, they trying to give me some numbers, they trying to start sliding me a couple digits, you know what I mean? So I don't have that problem in person,
uh-huh.
right? But I understand like everything else, right? When you get that liquid courage and you got that anonymity to say what you really want to say,
Yeah,
that's the real you. Like
yeah,
people like I know for a fact the real you ain't the one that you come out and you present to the world when where everybody looking. The real
uh-huh.
you is what you doing online,
That's right. Come on now.
right? So when I go to these places and I'm like, and I go to like these online spaces and I'm talking to people, and I'm generally always the more who try to be more, what's the peacekeeper? I try to be more of a peacekeeper. Versus when I see some of these FBA cats, I used to be like, all right, some of y'all a little tripping, right?
They off the
But then
chain, boy. Woo.
I'm seeing. But I'm starting to see, like at first I was kind of like, okay, y'all, we tripping a little too hard, like
Well,
right,
wait
like
a minute, but let me ask you a question. Are you seeing it now because we are all jumping on the bandwagon, but you didn't see it in the beginning because they weren't tripping with us like that? You know what I'm saying? But since you
yeah,
tripping, I'm tripping. So now we both tripping. I think we tripping too much. We doing too much. Both sides.
I, I, I believe it's a both hand things, right? So
Mhm.
so so I believe that some of these folk is out here tripping, but at the same time, I'm watching these folk play with us like in our like for me like that one thing we don't like in the Black America is like don't sit there and start pissing my face and say that it's raining, bro. Because now we got to get that makes you want to get violent, right? Now I'm not saying go out here and hurt nobody. Please do not take this. Do not take my message as instigation of violence. Please do not do that, right?
Right.
But when you see him in person and they be like, okay, like I had an African guy on a panel, right? And I'm
Mhm.
talking to him, I'm trying to be, respectful, right?
Mhm.
Uh, then we start playing the slogans. Oh, so are you're African? So if an African come to America, is he not an African American? No, bro. Like you know for a fact, right? If you come from Ghana, you come from the Ashanti, bro. You
Yeah.
come for
Come
the
on now.
Khan, bro. You
Come
come
on.
for the
Yeah.
Volta region. Like
Uh-huh.
where, like she's saying, just like you, just like a Jamaican say, a Jamaican man say I'm Jamaican, right?
Mhm.
And he,
Mhm.
if you want to go deep down with it, he may say
Yeah.
I'm Rasta, or
Yeah.
I'm this, or I'm
Okay.
that, right? Which is fine, right? Me personally, I respect that necessarily, just like you respect me. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you have people who try to play oh, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can slick dish you and see if I can get away with it, or see if you dumb enough to allow me get away with it.
Yeah. Okay, let
And
me ask you a question. How do we handle that when you see that? How do you handle that respectfully to let them know that that's not who I am? I'm not disrespecting you. So I appreciate if you're not disrespecting me. I understand some FBA got this, that, and the other, woo, 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 but that's not who I am. So let's start over because I demand respect just like you're going to demand it from me. So let's cut the shit and let's do what we need to do. Seriously, that can be
You
handled
want me
a
to be
different
honest with
way
you?
besides going there all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Now, see, I ain't a peacemaker. Like, I'm a peacemaker when it's convenient. Well,
But we
I
have to be
try to be a
sometimes.
peacemaker.
Sometimes we have to be, especially right now when things are so critical for Black people. I really believe,
I understand.
forecast, you can come
I,
up here if you want to. I really do believe that Black people, it's going to get really super rough for us in America. We're going to need each other. I promise you.
Oh no, I know. See, for me, I can play the 3D chess of the whole game. Like I understand right now. I like feel put it like this. I go to Africa on a routine basis. So no, don't.
Mhm,
So I got no bread that I can just pop off and leave for
mhm,
like 4 5 months and come back. Right.
mhm,
So like I got enough bread that can handle me. So I understand the position of the African continent, and I already know and see it is
mhm.
developing. Right. The
Yes,
Chinese invested that money. That
yes,
Russians investing this money, and them
exactly.
Africans are starting. I'm seeing them set the what is it? The what is it? The wheel turning, right?
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
seeing it.
I'm
So I so
telling
I
you.
so, I- so I
Yes,
understand from the Caucasian point of view, and if
yes.
they actually make that connection, it may be an actual problem with me. And considering that the average white person necessarily their birth rate is in the shitter right now,
Oh
right?
God, it's done. It's done.
It's done, right? Right. So I understand on their end, they're like, hey, I understand this may be a problem, right? So I got to do what I can. So
Mhm,
I understand the big master picture, right?
mhm,
But
mhm.
then you also got to put the hands of the okay.
Yeah.
How I'm gonna say this, right? I'm trying to do my best, my level best to erase your history. Like I've been
Oh,
literally looking like, especially with the Ghanaians. And I'm not. Now, granted, I was literally gonna marry me a Ghanaian woman probably 2 3 years ago. If everything would have went smooth, hey boy, hey boy, I'll be out here eating my wache with my fufu.
you'd had your
So
Ghanaian.
so,
You'd have been in
hey,
Ghana
so
by now.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I would have had me like 5 little babies running around here. I ain't playing with you, right? But it didn't go down necessarily, so it's like it is what it is, right?
I
So
love it.
what I'm saying is this, right? But you do have people, even when I was there at the wedding, giving me what is it, quote unquote, shots at me at the wedding, right? There is
Really?
literally I'm gonna be honest, I got to be
But
I went like,
it is
oh,
so sad though. How, you know what? But I have to say this. I have to say this. I do believe that it's happened like that because of us, because of our insecurities, because of the hurt, and the hatred that we have for our own. We just been taught that we didn't used to act like this until we allowed them to educate us. When they start educating us, then you start seeing Black folk be like we are with each other, and coons, and we used to be black and proud. James Brown had, I'm black and I'm proud. That's way before your time, honey.
yeah,
You remember?
yeah, yeah,
Now we used to have that.
yeah.
Black folk used to love each other. We was proud to be Black. We had our afros. We was looking good with our beard. We had it going on, right? But when it all changed is when we started allowing them to educate our children. That's where
my,
you
my,
begin
my
to see
dad
the
my dad
turn.
told me differently. My dad told me necessarily around that time, and when
Mhm.
crack hit America necessarily,
Yeah,
that's when he
yeah,
was like that basically from his point of view, he was like that's
yeah,
when it went left. Cause
yeah.
that broke up so many families. That if you
And that
break
was
up
on purpose.
like 50% of the families,
Yep.
that's destructive.
Yes.
That takes a long
Yes.
time to come back from
Yes.
that, right?
Then we
But
turned around and voted the guy that did it. We voted him in office last year, Biden. We
yeah,
voted him in.
Biden, yeah. So
Yes.
I'm start sticking to the point. I'm start sticking to the point that I was originally on, right? There are people that's in here that actively are working against you, right? And
Oh
that's
yeah.
the problem when you bring that to the continental Africans, or you
Mhm,
bring that to the Caribbeans, they do
mhm,
the oh man, I didn't see that guy. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't see this person? Like they I'm gonna give you three scenarios, right? They had
okay.
in California, they had a Ghanaian guy necessarily, right? He was a deciding vote to the stop reparation for the people that was in
Yes.
California. That's
Yes.
one thing, right? So I'm looking
Yes.
at you like, oh, that's
Yes.
not cool, right? You got
Uh-huh.
another dude who's Ghanaian necessarily, right? Wanted to start. He tried to make it seem like he had an African American bank, right? But he owned the bank, right? Basically, all he was gonna do is have you, and he was trying to promote it as if it was a FBA bank necessarily, and we need to invest our money in. And I'm like, whoa,
Mm.
wait a minute, bro. Like that's
Whoa.
not. I mean, you gonna take that money and then funnel that back to Ghana? That ain't gonna help me,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That ain't
wow.
right. And that's one scenario, right?
Mhm,
And then,
mhm.
like, granted, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. But I hate to be political, right? Barack Obama came up there and said he also from the continent. Well, I'm not gonna do nothing for black people. So,
Okay, I'm
so,
done.
bro,
That's it.
like,
That's it right there.
so we got opportunity. I'm looking at people after people. I go, I can even go deeper and deeper and deeper, right? That like, all right. So we have these people that's over here. You try to imitate us to the point that you blend into the crowd, right? Like I don't know if you know about Africa, they have tribal markings and everything. They
Yes,
have so many ways to identify each other to make sure
yes,
you are who you say you are, and that you
yes,
don't come over here and tamper with our thing. And the first thing that you read in the Art of War is the most important part of the Art of War is the spy,
yes. Yeah.
because it only takes one
America
spy
does
to
it. They
destroy the
already
whole
they
army.
have that here. That's here too now. They
Yeah,
have that.
yeah. So if you understand from my Art of War standpoint, like I'm like, because I look at things from the Art of War standpoint when I'm dealing with people, right? If you have one spy could destroy the whole platoon, if not the entire army, depending on what position that spy is in, right?
Mhm.
Then people get upset when you say, you know what, we need to have some separation from the people, and not never separation. I mean just politically, and the fact that to the point that okay, make sure that the people that we have in office or that we think that is in office that's running for our well-being is actually
Yeah,
from our lineage, right? Because
that's
if I
right.
try to go to Ghana or go to Nigeria, right? Or let's say the Nigerian Pacific, right? If I try to say I'm Igbo, right? And they find out I'm not Igbo, but I've been working against the Igbo people and
You're
working
done.
against Nigeria,
You're
they
done.
gonna they gonna put some tires on you and they're gonna set you on fire, right?
That's true. That's true. So I totally
That's fact.
agree. Totally.
So my problem is that when you start pointing this out to people, then you have the I'm gonna call it the I don't want to call then all of the sympathy start coming in, because if I go to your homeland and start working against you, if you go to Jamaica try that, they're gonna chop you real quick, right? If I go to if I go to Dominican Republic try that, they got a sword waiting for you real quick, right?
Right.
You
And
would
I
have tried it in
understand what
Africa,
you're
bro,
saying. I do. So why do you think they come here and do that?
because the fact you I'm gonna be honest. When you let somebody come in your house, right? It's like you
Yeah.
say Mikasa Sukasa, right?
Uh-huh.
They believe, oh, okay, necessarily, right? You ain't the dominant ethnic group, so you ain't like this, and we ain't never really had no everything thing where we ain't put no pause on you, right? You
Oh,
never in the how they work it. They real when you understand how deep tribalism goes in that culture and in these cultures, then you truly understand. Like it took me a minute until I was over there for like a year when the COVID happened that I really started understanding. When I was getting married, then I started then it really sunk in how deep it is. Like you don't
wow.
know, because we over here we basically are one group of people, right? So we don't have that them people over here messing with no, not right. We only
Yeah.
had white people over here, right? It was us
Yeah.
and them fighting. That was the
Yeah.
whole fight, right?
Yeah.
But you don't understand that okay, how deep it go for them, right? And
Wow.
just
I didn't
like
even, yeah, we don't know. That's the problem.
right,
We don't know how they operate over there.
you don't.
We have nothing, we can't compare it to anything because we didn't know. Just like they didn't know the slavery that we went through here. So it's a lack of understanding, but I do believe that we need to bring it together to communicate and help each other understand. I'm gonna help you to understand being how I grew up here, and then you help me to understand what's going on over there. I believe we need to bring that together. We got to all of this. We got to squash all of this tribal. We got to squash it because that's not going to help us for what's coming. What's coming is we're going to need each other. Period.
Yeah, I do believe it, but I do believe that. So but thing is, now I have that. Now, the thing is, people you like the in the 1970s and 60s, it was just come over, bro. You good, right? And that's the mentality we had. Now, yeah, if you don't know how elitist some of these people are, you don't like granted, like I do believe in elitism a little bit because you do have your upper, your middle, and your lower class. That's always happened. That's the thing. And that always will be a thing, right? Like the Bible said, the poor will always be among us,
Always, yeah. Yeah.
right? So I understand being elitism, right? But then you start bringing over your tribal element, then you start adding them, okay, quote unquote, but like they even do like weird things. Oh, we're doing so good in here in America. I'm like, that you're bringing over your top 10% intelligence, financial. drive and everything versus
Yeah,
this random population, right?
yeah,
Like you, I wouldn't send my 2 year old son or my 1 year old daughter or something versus a trained athlete. That's not a fair match. Well, a fair match is
right.
my best athlete versus your best athlete, and then we have the match and see who come out on top.
Yes,
Like so,
exactly.
so the issue that I do have with what I do have with the Africans or some of the Caribbeans is the I'm gonna look the other way ism, right? And that's kind of start irking me because at the same time, if I come to your country and do what you did to me, you know what you would do to me.
Yeah, I understand
You know
totally.
what you would do to me.
I understand.
But then
I
you but
understand.
then you ask for forgiveness, I'm telling you, I can drop it on my face. I got videos recorded. Then I'm like, if I did that in your homeland against my people, and you know how y'all get down, y'all would have got rid of us long time ago. But then you
Yeah,
come over here, it's like I can knock
disrespect.
all the food off your table, but then if you do it to me,
There's
I
an
don't like
issue.
that.
Yeah, I got you. Forecast, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, Cassandra? What's going on,
I,
brother?
I'm glad you here. What's your thoughts? You hear what my brother say? What's your thoughts?
Well, really, I'm just listening. I just hopped on really just to show you some support. But I agree with a lot of stuff the brother is saying. And the thing is, like, if you have a country, like, to me, like the way I look at it, why would you let in like the revolutionary Africans to come over here? You're gonna let in the people who's gonna be more subservient to
Yeah,
their system. And I mean, I think that is the one thing that black people have not done that Europeans they have tribal issues. We know they're gonna have fights all the time. They're gonna always beef with each other, but they've learned how to put that aside when it comes to us. Like
yeah,
when it comes to us, is all right. Forget all of that stuff. We gonna go after them, and then they'll turn them around and start fighting again. But see, we will let any other group, like if you look at it at the dynamic that we have, you have like in these countries, they let Europeans come in and all these other countries come in and exploit the country. But it will take a certain mentality to be like, okay, well, black people here in America, like, okay, you have the resources and the this to do that. But um we get stuck on like differences, and it is true like throughout the years, and like I said, I think that this particular time is like probably propaganda and stuff to keep us fighting and keep us divided. And then also like there's a lot of brothers like the brother Kofi, he would argue for the Democrats because it's like an immigration issue, and it's a different kind of issue than we have. So on political things sometimes it is a different issue, and that's why he'll be pushing that. But at the same time, like, I don't know, this for like black people, it just seemed like it's easier to go at black people. So I would boycott a African business, even though I knew a brother who owned a gas station who was African. He been looking out for me since I've been in middle school, and I still go to his store every day.
would you
And I
boycott his business?
no, I didn't. I went earlier today, so but he
That's what
been
I'm
like,
saying. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was saying like he been giving me like food since I like he would give me like potato wedges when I was walking home from school in middle school. So like, but then you have I've experienced the ones that also do this. It's like a coon thing. And my problem too is when people get on one side or the other, like they won't call out their side. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, but as like a black person in America, you feel like nobody respects you, and then we also have this issue um like my DNA says Nigerian, but like where I have no experience with that. I can't just go and it's like you said, the lieutenant governor of Virginia is a Jamaican, and she used civil rights stuff disrespectfully because she doesn't see it as her struggle. But then you have Jamaicans that I know that in person that he's down, and what I'm saying, grew up and understands everything. So um, I don't know. That's my problem. Is like you will let it slide, the kind of the coon behavior slide on your side, and I'm not really down with that. But I
So
don't
I
know.
think we need to hold everybody accountable.
Right.
And but how do we fix it? How do we stop it? How do we bring it all back together, because I do believe white supremacy started this in the first place. And when and how is it that we can get to the point where we can recognize when they start do stuff like this? We know that that's what they're doing. We can't prove it, but we know this is their model. This is what they do. We know that. So how do we fix it? How do we stop it?
Um,
You gotta
I
hold
think
somebody accountable, man.
Who?
That's the
How?
issue. Like
what
if you see your like I'm gonna say Candace Owens, right? It's an easy one. So that's a softball person, right? They be like, all right, yeah, this person from Jamaica, yeah, she from Jamaica, but we don't rock with that like that. We don't. The way she acting is not of the Jamaican way, right? If they call that more than people, so it's like, okay, now we can distinguish. You're on the other side. I know traders belong to all groups. I understand
Yeah.
that, right? When the Haitian who tried to try to free themselves, they had Haitian who tried to side with the with French, right? They got rid of them folk, right? Just the same thing. Sorry, excuse me. But at that point in time, it comes with the territory, right? So I understand turncoats, right? But if you see the turncoat and don't say nothing about the turncoat, did I have to believe by default
That
you
you part
rocking
of.
with what they saying?
Got
You
you.
part of it.
What do you think, forecast?
I think, oh yeah, it's got to be accountable. But like the thing is, each individual does have to hold themselves accountable because we're gonna just be arguing about, well, you need to hold yourself accountable first, or you need to do this first, or and then it's certain, like I said, certain subjects that we might have political disagreements about, within certain things, or we have different goals. I think that the way to you start everything with yourself personally. Like to me, like like you consider you want to accomplish a certain thing in your life, so you don't care what an African or American got to say. You want to have a certain business, and its resources over there, so you want to set up your family personally. And I think if enough of us wanted to focus on setting up ourselves personally, like even if it's just cause starting a business in your local area, if you only want to help out the people in Richmond, Virginia, the black people here, I need to set up something. But eventually, we need to get to a point where I can do business with the black people in North Carolina and the black
Yeah.
people in California. But then I can do business with the black people in Ghana or Nigeria, and
Right.
like start from like even just a personal point of view of where I'm just trying to be successful in business as opposed to like go against you, and you have something that I need and we can have business relationship. But I agree with the brother too, because like you got to have it on both sides. And if somebody is showing you again and again like, okay, well, they're not good, but we can't say this whole group of people does it, because the middleman who gives us both the information, and that's why we have the internet, we can talk directly to each other now. Like I see
That's what I'm
um
saying though. I'm talking directly to people.
mhm.
You gotta understand, right? Like yesterday, I'm on TikTok. So I mean, granted, TikTok is a public space. I'm talking to young African kids, right? We talking 22, 30, 22 and then 25, in that either early 20s to like, you see what I'm saying, early 30s range, right? So these ain't nobody grandmamas. They've been here for a certain amount of time. Hey, you can't pull I didn't know. No, no, bro, you been here. You don't even got no accent no more, bro. You been here, right? I'm talking to them, right? I come into the group peacefully, calm. Hey man, they talking about jello fries. I'm covering up cracking jokes or whatever, right? They talking about they food that's good and that's not good. I was like, gumbo's cool. They was like, oh yeah, that's slave food.
What?
What? Oh no, 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 no. Hold on. It get worse. I'm like, gumbo is not slave food. Technically, that comes from Louisiana, and then you get like gumbo. It's just a mixture of all different meats and vegetables put together. I mean, it's just like a regular soup. Oh no, that's slave food. Now, granted, I'm in a panel. Now I'm a panel. Now the host of the thing, he ain't check none of that, right? The mods in the thing, they didn't check none of that, right? Some of it kind of giggle, some kind of laugh. I'm like, all right, whatever, right? Then it become what is it? Oh yeah, y'all eat chitlins. I'm like, bro, don't nobody eat chitlins, bro. No, he was like, no, yeah, y'all slaves, y'all eat chitlins. And y'all, I'm like, whoa. I was like, bro, and was it hog feet? I'm like, bro, don't nobody eat that, but don't nobody eat that outside the South like that. I'm for me, I've been down here for a long time, bro. Even my granddad was like, boy, I don't eat no chitlins, bro. Sorry. right? So I'm telling them, I'm like, bro, that's kind of like a misnomer, bro. I'm really trying to explain it to you. Then it's, oh, okay, well, we gonna roast you necessarily because like we don't like what you're saying. We have our own personal view, and now necessarily since your view don't agree with what we think of you, now
Okay.
we got something to say. So and then now I'm like, oh, now we're starting to get it because I like, granted, I come in there always try to be peacemaker first, right? Before I
Yeah.
hit you with the stick, I want to come in with the carrot first. So before I, so when I feel, so when I smack you with the head with a stick, I'm gonna smack you with full force and full authority, right? But the thing is, when I start getting on him, it was slave jokes. This and when I start cracking them, them African jokes. I started doing the 30 cent a day jokes. Now all of a sudden, now everybody want to kick you off the panel. Everybody upset. No, 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 now we got now F y'all, you were cocktails, all this other stuff. But it was cool when you was cracking jokes on me 30 seconds ago. And yeah, I mean my food slave food, but then I'm like, but they colonized you in your area, bro. Now you used to eat something else, but now you eat cassava, which was brought by the Portuguese, bro. You know what I mean? It can't be both, bro.
Yeah, well, see, and look, and I'll say this too, what you're saying, right? Because all the time I hear, and this gets on my nerves, because I hear people make excuses when stuff like that happens, and I see that all the time, right? Because if you want to tell jokes, you know what I'm saying, we got jokes, we can joke now,
You
you
got
know what I'm
jokes.
saying, but and this is why I'd be like, yo, um, even with that though, you know what I'm saying, like we know that if we're going to, that's why I keep it at just business and not personal, because we might not ever like each other. I might not even like black people here, but I'm going to put black people first. That's why I'm like,
Me
Right.
too.
for us to be able to work together, it's just like, because we go, like she said, we going to go to Target and they going to film us as soon as we get out the car talking about we stealing, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna still go to Target. It's business first, and that's why I say put yourself first, even if it's just your own neighborhood in your store. But you might be able to find some kind of connect or some kind of business that does, like, with a thing that somebody could make money, like a app that can exchange money between black nations around the world. That just be an app that works and that you can make money off of, and but I get totally what you're saying, because like I see it all the time. I see like they say this or talk about the young brothers in the communities who might be in trouble or something, and make it seem like, oh, this is a black people in America thing. And the only person I know or consider that eat chillings is Bakari. So the rest of us ain't eating no chillings. But so I
Corey, let him talk. Let him hear you talk about his chitlins, honey.
Yeah, he about,
yeah,
he about to he about to have you out here. He gonna be looking at you funny, like he eat chitlins, bro. Like you really do that? Like,
yeah.
like
Yeah, my dad eats that stuff. I ain't messing with it, but no, but that's the thing, because I get it, you know what I'm saying, and that's why I'd be like, but then you have those out there, because because when you're saying that, right, like it's ignorant people, like because I talk to young ignorant people who are like black, it's just they just young and ignorant and don't know anything, and it ain't no excuse. You gotta put them people where they are. This is who they are right now, so you trust them as far as you can throw them. I'm not saying you got to save them or none of that stuff, but you focus on individual relationships for yourself so you can build your own community and your own family. And like the only thing that we can possibly do is to put it in ourselves, and hopefully enough of us are raised our own enough to where we start realizing we can do it together, because there are militant just as many young black people who is like even from other countries and stuff like that, who do have stuff going on, who I can hire, who I've hired to like help me do work and stuff like that. And like, so it's there on both sides. And then also, even with TikTok, these platforms are there designed to get us. That's why I'll never really get into that FBA conversation, because like to me, I don't even say African American, because that means like it's Africans that's been American. I mean, we coons, you know what I'm saying? We've been Americanized, and we are our own thing, you know what I'm saying? I think America is anti-black, anti-us, and
fact.
we can create whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like if the resources that we need are in certain things, there's no reason why we shouldn't well, I get why, because the leaders in these countries which is put there, but then you see also black leaders who are trying to be for black people, But one thing black people have a problem all over the world is protecting the people who stand up for us, and the people who go out on a limb for us, we let them go out and nothing
Yeah,
happens. Like the
and we just
leader
feel
in the,
bad about them.
what should happen if something happened to the leader in the
Burkina
Burkina
Faso.
Faso,
yeah, what should happen, Cassandra, if something happened to him?
And man,
bro,
I'm
they
telling
cool,
you,
bro. I mean, like they got three people. They got three people on the on that job, right? They got the president of Burkina Faso, Mali, and the other country. I forgot the name of it right now, right? So they got three people that
Niger,
stepping up. So you got to get three
right?
people. But and they do it. These people do have around the clock detailed service. So these people are pretty protected, right? So it's like so I understand what you're saying, right? But the reality is, you as a people must be willing. What are you willing to sacrifice? That
Yeah,
basically what it comes down to, it, right? At the point, if the only thing you willing, if you when you come to it and you say I'm only willing to sacrifice my slight discomfort, then you know if your enemy necessarily is willing to sacrifice lives and do necessarily spend millions of dollars and will suffer to get to you, you about to be out competed, bro. I'm sorry. That's a natural order thing, right? At that point, right? If you only wanted a little bit and I wanted more than you, if you did any wrestling, football, basketball, any combat sport or whatever, if that man wanted more than you and you fighting, you doing okay, we know who gonna win that,
yeah.
right? So for me, like I say personally, I do business with Africans, right? My current girl I'm going right talking to right now, she Kenyan. If everything go good, I'll probably be married by next year.
Love them Kenyan, love them African.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, but she got a big ass forehead, but that booty is just as fat as that forehead. I'm happy on both ends. But
You know what? Hold on, you ain't one of them passport bros,
I
are
love
you?
cheeks, but I love the cheeks. I ain't gonna never say, hey, bro, I'm a cheek lover from all around the world. Them things is fat though. That's where I'm
Wait
at.
a minute,
But
you're not a passport bro, are you? One of them passport bros.
hey, bro, I'm wherever the beautiful ladies are. That's checking for me. If you checking for me, girl, I'm
That's a
checking
good
for you.
answer, bro. That's a good answer.
So I'm
They
saying
He
said
like
put
that
that.
he
one.
You
did
know
good,
what I mean?
didn't he? He
But no,
did
like
good.
literally,
But yeah, but I
but like,
appreciate you guys. Go ahead.
hey man, but like for me, like I said, hopefully if everything go good by next year time, I should be, married and we be, have my little business out there in Kenya, and I can have me a little community of folk who actually want to come out there and do. Because it's already small. Like I don't know if people know out there in Thailand, they got their little thing running out there in Thailand. It's actually jumping pretty good. I went out there and saw it. It's jumping. Like you got folk in Colombia, they got the little thing out there. It's jumping, right? So you got people making connections. Like you got to kind of have that operation, like how to what is it? Jamaica's wrong. Like there is no place on this planet that don't got a Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah.
But when you read, they got one in Indonesia, they got one in Japan, they got one in China, they got like 100 in your neighborhood, right? We should have the same mentality where you should basically be in every crevice of the world. There should be a Black American out there making money and sending that thing
I
back.
totally agree. Totally agree. Totally. But we don't even think
So
about having one here. So how we gonna think about having it anywhere else? We don't even want to have it here. You look at the black folk; they looking for jobs. You guys, how many black men do we have that's unemployed that's looking for jobs instead of you operating your business? Some I know going to work jobs, okay, but you have a whole lot of black men that could actually have their own business and they're out there begging white folk for a job, a position. Why? We have to get back to the mentality of us owning our own businesses. Period. We got to
you
get back
got
to
to.
that.
But I don't believe that like put like this. Like this is where I have to be hard on my own people. Like when you had to do that during Jim Crow, you had to. Them folk was on your behind, so you ain't had no option, right? The problem is a lot of folk is too comfortable. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with you.
we are.
A
Yeah.
lot of people, you way too comfortable. Right? See, so you got a little money in your pocket. I don't need you. I can do it by myself. All right, the Highlander. I call it the Highlander syndrome. It can only be one. I'm like, nah, bro. Like if you look at any organized group of people or any group of people, it's multiple people as a group, and they multiply that power by working as a group. If you refuse to work as a group and work as an individual, you is way easier to catch. And like just like you see any elephant or a water buffalo or whatever, when that whole herd turn against that lion, he ain't got no option. He can chase one or two down and separate him from the pack, definitely. But when that whole herd turn around and say, "Oh, we getting that guy," and he about to get gone, every time the lions come up dead. So it is what it is on that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree on that, right? If Yo, and that's the whole reason, right? If no, like even in your personal life, if you in a comfortable situation, it's not gonna make you get up and do something to make a change in your own personal life. Like if you in a bad relationship, it's just good enough for you not to leave, but you'll never be able to achieve. And one thing that I would say, just looking at the history, like they've understood like two things. Like it's easier to make a slave out of a child than like somebody who is an adult who known freedom or something like that. But they've also known that if you give them just enough comfort, then they're not gonna do like they used to do.
Like
How
for
they
real, I mean, they have a memo on it. They have a memo of this in the United States. Now, was it what is it like I forgot the files, whatever they got. What it basically said, we must stop the rise of a black messiah. They
yeah, that's like
we basically
Hoover,
can't let
yeah.
these people organize this much to this level because that may be a danger to us. So they understand at a certain level. Okay, if this goes down enough, revolution is gonna happen. Like everybody know, all you really need is like 20% of the population to have a revolution.
Right, exactly. And they
So
need you, yeah, they need you to do it. And like J. Edgar Hoover said that, and he came up by getting Marcus Garvey. Pretty much the one who got Marcus Garvey was J. Edgar Hoover, and then they created the FBI under those guys to make sure, of course, like to stop the rise of the Black Messiah and all of that stuff, because to them they feel like we're going to do to them what they did to us, but they cannot let you have. They realized, they saw in the 60s how black people fought in the streets together, black man, woman, child. And that's why I think they created the integration thing. I don't think it was a black people thing. I think it was a move by them, and to
it
make
was.
sure that we lose
They
our
literally said
teachers
it.
and all that stuff. And
They
to
literally said, I forgot this movie. They literally said it was like one of these movies. I think like she may have seen it because she's a little bit older than us, but I've seen it before, right? It was basically it said, all right, you can't allow the smart ones to live there in the hood because eventually they will plant themselves amongst the people and become a leader. So you gotta vacuum the smart ones out, right? The How you keep a population of people down is you take the smartest ones, the most strongest ones, basically the ones that will be considered alpha, the ones that will come to the leadership positions, right?
right,
Right, like I still believe like that's why I say I am still an elitist, and at some point you do need elite people to push the envelope because the Keisha on the corner ain't gonna do it. Let's be honest, bro. Keisha on the corner ain't gonna do it. Day on the block ain't gonna do it. You need somebody a little bit more smarter, a little bit more wily, and a little bit more craftier. See what I'm saying, right? And
Mhm.
people, if that upsets you, it is what it is. But
um,
those are the people who have the ability and the mindset to do it. But if those
mhm.
people all vacuum over here, or we take them necessarily day in the night, white night, one nice neighborhood necessarily, right? And you give them the creature comforts of a good life or a nice life, that become an issue, right? Well, will eventually become an issue because then you have a brain drain like they have in Africa, where they have people they'll say, all right, they'll tell all the Nigerians, hey, we take all the Nigerian nurses, we pay you double.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they always done. They would and especially anytime you have a successful movement, like that's a part of infiltration. And you know what they do, like since the beginning to stop it. Like first they try to use religion, then they try to use white girls, then they try to use their army. But if none of that works, they're gonna use a black army and promise them like freedom or something if you help me catch every other slave. And then a lot of times black people would do it. But like one thing I disagree with you on is like when you saying like I okay, like people have, but I think each person is skilled in their own thing. Like Keisha might not be skilled farmer, but she might be a skilled nurse or something like that. But I think that if you were in control of the education system, and like I think that we've been programmed to be the Keisha on the corner as opposed to the Keisha who finds her personal ability and can use that for the for whatever, because I heard y'all talking about the generations before. You went from like the 30s and the 40s where like black people were had their own stuff and created their own organizations and had their own businesses, and it wasn't just Black Wall Street because it was the same thing everywhere. And then of course you had all that stuff we talked about in the 60s, but then you had the feminist thing in the 70s that divided the family, and then you put the crack epidemic in that, you know, and then that leads to the day. Like all of this is done to make sure that they control what you see, because what you see in the images, they can, if they can control what you think, they're going to control that choices that you make, which controls the outcome that you have. So like if Keisha, like, and it affects me and everybody else. Like if you, even if you, I've never been anti-black, but I've had low self-esteem, low confidence, and all of this type of stuff, because you just, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Because everything that we see is, oh, I'm not good enough, not worthy. So the choices that you make tend to be less, you know. But if you getting a different kind of education, like, you know, private schools, they be teaching their children how to have businesses and manage
They
money
teach their
in
children
elementary
power,
school.
bro.
Hmm?
I went to Kennesaw State University. They teach their children power, the acquisition of
How?
power, and how to maintain power. Black people,
Mm-hmm.
black people understand force. Like we have force, but you don't. We're not taught the art of power, how to get it, how to maintain it, and how to wield it properly. Right, and that's the difference between necessarily a powerful tool or whatever and the general, right? Or your lieutenant and your general. The general understands power, how to use it, and how to keep it necessarily. The lieutenant necessarily understands the force of power and how to inflict it upon others. But that's a different thing, though. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, because I agree with that point of what you're saying, because you have a general and you have, can everybody be like the head? You know what I'm saying? Somebody, but the leader, or like, we will recognize you only as strong as your weakest link. You know what I'm saying? So, in whatever organization that you're doing, that's why even when you have people trying to like, well, just for example, the Black Panthers or whatever, you have other black people coming into that organization, the FBI trying to infiltrate, and then we also let every other group into it because we got this savior
Mm-hmm.
complex. You know, we think that we don't even trust ourselves to save us. You know, but I also think that becomes from so much negativity, so much negative energy and history that we see among. And I think that if we change the way that we think, each one of us individually, and teach it to your children, and not pass down whatever drama you got to your children, then you give them a better chance. And I think that the younger generation is getting more revolutionized, because like it takes them to actually do something. And they've been having think tanks for hundreds of years to decide the Negro question: how are we going to handle these Negroes? What are we going to do next to keep them in this position? And a part of that is the benign neglect thing and the whole immigrant thing, and to keep them separate. All of this stuff comes into play, because they need us to still pay them for you know, gas and the water bill and stuff that should be free. You know what I'm saying? Like BP was created, it's millions of Africans died so that BP can live, like, and we still go to BP and all of that stuff. But that means that, like, you know, that's how sick that we are, you know. But they need us to not know the truth about the Biafra Wars and the connection, how BP was even created in the 50s by putting two African nations to go fight each other. And then a lot of African refugees ended up coming to America from the Biafra Wars in the 50s. But not only did they make money giving both sides ammunition to kill each other, they took all the oil for cheap because they was in war with each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Europeans have been able to colonize us since day one. You know, and that's why we realize you know, this whole tribalism thing is a problem. You know, so you know, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm gonna say one thing. My bad. I don't want to start over speaking, man. So I just want to
No,
say
no,
it
I was
real
done. Go
quick.
ahead, bro. Go ahead. No, it's a good,
Yeah.
good conversation, bro.
Yeah, like now, see, the thing is, you don't know how. Like now, granted, for me, for us in America, we don't have the tribalistic thing as much. We got class issues more than anything. Do we have tribalistic things? Right? You can be from Nigeria. Cool. Long as you're cool with me, I ain't got no problem with you. That's our mentality, right? Now, granted, that is a naive way of thinking. When basically, I'm gonna put it like this: we are politically and socially inept Just like you put an infant in the woods in the desert, right? He think everything his friend. The reality is, there's some lions out there don't got no problem eating you right here, bro. Right? So when you're politically and socially inept or necessarily or not savvy enough, you will get taken advantage of. And like see, for me, I'm well, how I'm say, I'm a realist, right? We didn't walk over here necessarily. Folk put you on boats necessarily to get over here. But so we also have to remember that mindset, right? That folk put you on boat so you can get here for whatever financial benefit they wanted because they didn't like them folk over there. I ain't like that tribe over there. You see what I'm saying? The Ashanti, F the Ashanti necessarily. He married a girl I wanted to marry back in whatever village. So F him, I'm gonna send him out to slavery. Goddamn it, it is what it is, right? So if you don't understand these dynamics and you going out here thinking it's gonna be all kumbaya, then you setting yourself up for failure, right? So the problem is you have to first adequate your mind to how does the world work around me. First off, right? And then once you understand how the world works around you, what's going to be the best scenario for me to come out and victory? That called game theory. I'm going to repeat this again for some people that may not understand. Game theory. How do I win this situation? Right? And usually the best situation to usually win game theory is mutual beneficial relationships, right? That's the best one. You see what I'm saying? Or tit for tat. If you tap my hand, then I'm gonna tap your hand. You leave me be. I'm gonna let you be, right? But that's that. But the thing, but I'll be real with God. Honestly, the average person, let's be honest to you, bro, does not have this mentality. Like I'm gonna say that. Not many people think about this and work in it and to achieve this. Like I'm not gonna say I'm like special, but I was raised on Malcolm X, not Martin Luther King. I know how I get down out here, bro. And if you don't understand that, you will get ate. Like I said, bro. Hey, bro. Like there has never been no invading force that's come to Africa and just whoop all the African ass, all the African booty, and just came and took people. That's not how it worked. You had people that was on the land saying, "Give me 5 guns, a couple bees, and some liquor, and I go get you what you want." And that's facts, though.
Yeah, well, yo, that whole I ain't even gonna get into that whole conversation because like there's always gonna be some coons and stuff like that. But like for the most part, even the people that did that got kidnapped themselves, you know, and that's a whole interesting conversation. And but yo, I just because I want to agree with you what you're saying, you know, you are 100% right, you know, and that's why I'm saying it's important for you to like because I think that as adults we're done like if you ask me, the black children born today is don't stand a chance right now. You know, and the
They
only
fool, bro.
way,
They fool.
huh?
They are, bro. I'm
Yeah,
looking at the reading levels. Most of these kids can't read, bro. I talk to their
yeah,
mamas. Their mamas say, "Why I got to read to my baby?" My
yeah.
mama read to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. My mama read to me when I was 5 and 4
Mhm.
until the time I was 10. I watched my mom and my dad sacrifice money to put me in a private school, put me in a Head Start, did everything they possibly could to put me in a good position to
Yeah,
thrive. Right.
yeah,
That's my parents. My parents was born in the 1950s and the 60s. I think I'm gonna be
exactly.
honest, right?
Right,
But
mine too. Exactly.
that's a different generation of people. They were raised by the silent generation or the greatest generation.
Right.
Different group of people, right? Now
Mhm.
now this is now it's way out of order now, bro.
Yeah,
It's
and
way.
see,
Like,
well,
go
no, no,
ahead, bro.
no, I'm saying I agree with you, right? And but looking at that, like they understood that, right? Like they see how each generation like was brought up in the differences and the changes that you can make. You know, this Russian dude was talking about how to infiltrate America. He's like, "Yo, all it takes is like 15 years, like from one set of children to grow up throughout the education system and for them to start taking over a system for them to be able to take over uh, um area, right? And this is why it's important. This is why a lot of us have, because a lot of us came up in the dysfunctional of the 80s and the 90s and the crack epidemic and the
That's the
crime
crack
rates was
here, bro.
crazy and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So they intentionally did this, you know, but the thing is though, I do think that coming up, well, I can't say that because they probably gonna do something else, you know, but um that they cannot continue to do this. But it's important for you to teach your children how to interact with the right people. I mean, even just who you have children with, you know what I'm saying? If somebody is toxic, I don't care whatever they look like, you stay away from those kind of people, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you're supposed to be teaching your children individually, you know, and to reproduce with the right people, to get yourself the right information so you can give it to them. And so that instead of having conversation, because I think we have way too many conversations. Not that we shouldn't know who be doing what, but we put all of our attention on the people who scam us, and not any attention on the sisters and the brothers who actually have schools and things that we could be building. You know what I'm saying? We don't, and you get what you focus on. And I think that we have terrible skills at identifying leaders because of the stuff that we see in our homes. You know, and I think that that's a part of how you're raised, and as far as your parents, and like that's a part of your parents' jobs, you know. And
What
all I can
parents,
say
bro?
is, hmm,
like 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 I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I said, I'm not. I'm like this. I'm a realist first, right? If you tell me, I don't know if you've ever seen the Titanic before. I'm pretty sure Miss. I'm pretty the older lady. She's seen Titanic, right? There was a scene in the Titanic when the guy said, "This boat." I was like, "This boat is going to sink, sir." And one of the guys looked at him and said, "This boat can't sink." And then the guy looked at him with the craziest look in his eye and said, "Sir, this thing is made out of iron. It can definitely sink." Right? The problem is you would for me, I know how to fix the problem, but like for me, I already know what to do. You take your kids, you raise your kids in a different environment necessarily, right? Or you got to keep your kids carding off from this stupidity, right? But I also know I'm gonna give you a scenario to look up. Look at the word social dominance order, right? So that basically means like basically, let's say you put your kid in a good position, you do what you're supposed to do, right? But your kid, let's say your daughter's around 304s. You know what 304s mean. She hang out with 304s. She listen to 304 music. You know it, bro. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, right? Your daughter listen to 304 music. She around 304 kind of women. She go and spend the night at 304 girls' mama house, and she doing that stuff. She got an OnlyFans account, bro. By the evidence of that your daughter's around this environment, she will get poisoned, right? So you literally have to take your child from that environment instead of right, and put your kid in a different environment. You can't have somebody who's sick and help them in that position where the place they got sick at, right? You got to take that person from that sick area. Like if you they say you in a dirty area, I gotta take you to a clean area first, dust you off first. Then after you get immunity, I done cleaned you up. You done got your body into a good position. Then you can come back. That's why I said me and my little Kenyan thing is she rocking like how she supposed to be rocking. 2 years from now, we supposed to be in Africa, and I'm gonna have me like a couple babies, and I'm coming back, right? So I can do that, right? So so I have enough forward thought the process to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. So for one song, I'm gonna need at least 5, 10 other dudes. There's some other dudes actually going down there now. So I understand what I need to do for myself, right? But that's me, right? I can't convince a person who's saying, "Hey, bro, I don't need to do nothing. I'm perfect."
right. But but all I'm saying is focus on yourself, and then meet somebody else who's in the same lane as you, and you do business with that person. And like the 304s is like, yo, there, you're right there. I was like, you can't. I'm not saying to save nobody. That's my point. I'm saying save yourself. You know, and if enough of us save ourselves, then we're gonna be on the right path. So I'm agreeing with what you're saying. You know, like you are responsible for keeping your child out of the 304 lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, and putting them in the lane where, like, you know, with the those who you want to, because like that's what you get. If we gonna be like, because, and that's the only thing, like most of our examples when we talk about black people is coming from negative. But like, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but I'm saying like from when you look at social media, all we talk about is negative, say like negativity about black women. But then, like, if you think, look at it, like, but I've met more militant black women than men sometimes, who are way more on it than men. So I'm not saying that the other one doesn't exist, but what I'm saying is I'm going to focus on the ones who do exist and highlight that and put my energy into that. instead of word. Like, so I mean, we agree. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Like, you know, we on the same page. You know, but my point is like, don't worry about trying to help nobody else. Like, worry about helping yourself. And like how your parents got you on the right track, and you like, oh, I'll marry a Kenyan woman. I'll support their business. Your parents did what they were supposed to do, and and if you deal with somebody else whose parents taught them what they're supposed to do, who's also black, then it'll be easier for you to create what you need to create. That's all I'm saying. So
Stay.
I,
It's
I
almost like it's always about staying on track because in keeping your children around the right people. Because if you tell
the
your
right
child
people.
not to date a white person, but you put them in an all-white school, what are you going to get? You're going
Facts.
to get your child dating a white person. So I understand what you're saying, which is so true as far as parenting. And this, I come back to a thought when Obama said something about uh, uh, keep your child around the LGBT. What the hell? That's not good.
Bruh.
That's what he said. Didn't he forecast? He said, we
yeah,
should
That's what he
be
said.
yeah.
keeping our children around the LGBT. That way they can teach. Who gives a damn? They don't need to teach my child nothing. Period. Let the LGBT stick around LGBT. Let the
And
transgender
fin-
stick around transgender. That's not good
yeah.
parenting. That's just like you telling me to tell my daughter to go hang around some hoes. I think you call them 304s or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? I guess that's what the new
Yeah,
word is.
exactly.
I don't know. We say hoes, we say thoughts, whatever. But
I'm,
I'm
I'm,
just
I'm, try- I'm trying to get your live took it down. I don't know if they made sense. We call them hoes back in my day
Yeah,
too.
they
So we
hold they
call them
hold in
hoes.
my
But
generation.
okay, but I'm just saying, when you said 304, I didn't know what that meant. But I'm just saying, that's just like me telling my daughter, hey, this is what I want you to hang around with. No, I'm not going to do that. If I see her even trying to hang around, I'm going to be like, hell, come here. Let's have a chat.
come
Let's
here.
see
Let me
what's
pull you to
going
the
on with
side real
you.
quick.
Go ahead.
I was saying like you do it all grandma. You do the grandma thing. Let me pull you to the side real quick. Let me go,
Hey,
girl.
that's
Let me
okay.
talk to you real
Hey,
quick.
I am a grandma, okay? I have a granddaughter 16, but I'm just saying, it is all about parenting. But I just, I think we should just remember, and how we talking about us coming connecting with them, and let's stay connected with our African brothers and sisters, just like you staying connected with the African women. Okay. I believe that's a good idea. I think we should be marrying each other. I don't think we should be marrying them Caucasian people, them hybrids. I don't believe in
No,
that. I don't believe that that's
I
what
don't
we're
believe in
supposed
it
to
either,
do.
personally.
I believe that black folks supposed to be marrying black folk, and black Americans should be marrying Africans, okay, to bring this stuff together so that we can say, oh, I'm not African. Yes, you are. Stop it. You black. That's where you came from, But we're getting into this gender war, all of this war with the FBAs and the ADRs and the African. We're doing too much. We got to bring it back to the center, bring it back to black people, period, and understand why are we doing this? What's going on? Who threw the rock and hit their hands? And I must tell you again, I believe that rock came from some white folk that's doing some
Oh
what you
yeah.
call it. Well, I'm gonna throw it and then just throw it out there, let some black person catch it, and guess what? We're gonna have everybody running after each other. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We have to squash this, especially when it's some nonsense that it shouldn't even be taking our focus off the real enemy. The real enemy is the white supremacy folks, them KKKs, them police officers, the judges, the nurses, the doctors that's killing black women. Those are the real enemies, and they're taking our focus off of what we should be doing. We should still be concentrating on who the real enemy is, but we're losing all the focus, and we're looking at each other like that's your enemy. That's not your enemy, and it's time for us to stop it. So I don't know where it's going to come from, who needs to say it, who needs to hear it, but we need to stop and come back together and honor each other, period. But go ahead.
I personally, I
Go ahead.
technically agree. I personally technically agree with you on that end, right? And that's what I try to do, right? But I don't want to be negative, Nancy. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't, right? But I like I'm seeing what's the word I'm looking for? Not degradation. What's the word? Degeneracy taking hold. Like now, back in my now, granted, I must say we all had our one auntie or uncle or so and so house that you went to for Thanksgiving, right? We all you all know you either went to Big Mama house, you went to Uncle so and so house, and that's what you did, right? Thanksgiving, whatever may be. That's just what it was, right? Back in my day, right? You didn't go to your auntie so and so house and be smoking weed necessarily at the front door.
right.
Like, Greg, you
That's
may like
right.
that. The older folk, maybe hold on. The older folk, they may have drunk or whatever, came there pregame. They may went to the car, came back. They left the neighborhood, came back. But you
That's
know
right.
for a fact, bro,
Right.
they weren't doing that in the front yard. When
That's
I
right.
try to go tell my family members now, hey man, you know what Auntie so and so lied. You know you didn't even pull this. So why you letting this slide now? Oh well, you
Right.
know so and so. No. See, that's where that you gotta hold people accountable, right? This is where
Right.
that part come into, because you can't be saying it's cool to have your teenage daughters out there smoking weed in the back of the house necessarily, right? And then think that's not going to bring other problems down the line, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
it had to be a limit where you got to be on folk behind. I hate to say you got to be on folk ass.
We have to stay focused. We have to stay focused, and I think that's what's happening right now. We've lost our focus, just like what's the Mr. Blackman? I'm gonna say Mr. Blackman because I can't pronounce the first one. He said it's sad how someone sits somewhere, pin us against each other, pin us against one another, and a bunch of us buy into the bull, right? And I said, yes, that's true. We act like we've forgotten who these people, how they operate, right? Then you had another person, Marco said, what? Corner store, liquor stores, a non-black restaurant up next on the boycott list. Yes, that's who we're supposed to be boycotting. And we're losing losing our concentration, and we're losing focus on who the enemy is because we're looking at each other. They got us looking at each other because, like I said, somebody white threw the rock. You're not going to tell me it wasn't somebody white. Somebody threw the rock. And now we're looking at each other when we going into each other. When we was looking at them at first, remember George Floyd, we was looking at them. Now we didn't turn our attention to each other. That's crazy. Then he says some of us don't want to be ourselves, bleaching skin and wanting to lighten skin, babies and good. Exactly. This is why I keep telling y'all, we got to stay focused. We have to stay focused on who the real enemy is. And we losing focus. We can't do that. This right here, I definitely agree. Right now, right here, because like you said, if we don't stay focused, we're gonna start creating enemies, and that's what black men and women are doing now, creating enemies amongst yourselves. We can't do that because we're gonna need each other. Because if something go down and you have an African neighbor, you can't even go to his house now and get help. Y'all better stop. Think about what's going on. Because if we fighting each other, then now you go to Africa, they don't want you over there. You go to Mexico, they don't want you over there. You go to all these other places, they don't want you there because we done made so many enemies. Who we gonna run to? Who's gonna help? Because we gonna have enemies here against each other. Black folk against black folk, Africans against black folk. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're losing our focus, you guys. That's not gonna work. We have to stay focused.
Now, I definitely agree with you. Oh, look on dear God, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like I don't. I'm not lying to you. I agree with you. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. Like for me, when I'm saying I'm trying to make it work, I'm one of them folks. I'm trying to make it work, but it's hard to work with her. It's hard to work with somebody who don't want to work with you. Like when I talk to some of these Africans, like I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it a book. Like I talk to a lot of African ladies. See what I'm saying? That's not. You know what I mean?
But I'm gonna tell you what I do. Let me just say one thing. What I do when I meet them, I'm always saying first because I'm hearing the accent. I go, "Hey, where you from?" I always strike a conversation because I want them to understand that I'm not your enemy. That's the first thing, and I think it's gonna be us individually coming together when you meet one, okay? Even when you meet one with an attitude, but hold on, I'm not your enemy. We got to stay focused on who the real enemy is. Let me show you who the real enemy is, and you pick out one of them crackers and point to that one. That's your enemy right there. I'm not your enemy. That's how we're gonna have to do it. It's gonna take individually us coming together, okay? When you meet one out there in public, met one at the gym today, and her and I start talking. We exchange phone numbers, okay? You have to do this. You cannot just sit there, know that this mess is going on and not do anything. It is up to us as individuals. So when you meet an African, you meet a Cameroonian, you meet a Ghanaian, you have to come correct with them. And we got to fix this. I'm not against you. I'm not your enemy. Let me show you who your real enemy is. This is what it's going to take. Everybody who's listening to this video, you have to spread the word. I am not your enemy. We are not coming against each other because we're going to need each other, period.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I like for me personally, like I said, just like he got a gas station, he go to the dude look out for him. I got a gas station I go to on a routine basis. That guy been looking out for me. I mean, some skinny heads walked in there with some motorcycles. Boy, he went and got his pistol. I got my pistol. We were watching them. We were watching them like hawks.
right?
See, he got
So
the
he
he
knew
got
what the
the right.
game
He on
was.
the
I knew what the
assignment, right?
game was.
Forecast. He
Yeah,
on the
that's what's up.
assignment. He know the
Yeah,
assignment, don't he?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
He
I'm
know the
talking about.
assignment, bro.
You on the assignment. You know the
So
assignment. That's a good thing because a whole lot of brothers ain't
yeah,
on the assignment. They
and
don't
bro
know
was
the
good.
assignment.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Let's do that. Like I say, you're right. You gotta find people that's on the same wavelength. You got to understand at least a. You got to understand. We got to at least have a baseline, right? If we can't have at least a organized baseline, then you can't do
Right.
nothing, right? If you think necessarily, I'm out here trying to quote unquote fight the oppressor, and you over here like, well, you know what? He ain't that bad of a guy to me. Then it's like,
I hate that. I hate that. Marco said
then
one
then,
thing. He said,
then,
"This is the first time I've seen so much black consciousness in one code people. There's a movement going on, and that's right. It is a movement. This should be a movement. This
Yeah.
should be the movement here amongst black people. I'm not coming against my sister and brother. I'm not coming against African people. That is my sister and brother. I am part of Africa. We have to stop with this. I'm not black. I'm not from Africa. Shut the hell up. If you got DNA from Ethiopia, what does that tell you? You're from Africa. Somebody from Africa, whether you want to admit it or not. But it is time that we get on code and understand the assignment. Period.
No,
I definitely agree, man. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and get bounce up out of here real quick. I got this. I got some business I gotta take care of. My lady about to come in.
I
They
appreciate
ain't
you.
let me
man.
handle.
We'll be here every Sunday, 5:30. See you. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully we'll see you next Sunday. But
I
thank you for
appreciate
coming
I
talking
on.
to you,
definitely,
bro.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
definitely good talking to you too, bro.
But yeah,
Um,
forecast. I love the comments that he said. I ran through many African Americans, and it's all love every time we bump. Yeah, bump into one another, and that's the way it should be. That's the
yeah,
way we should be. I do believe that it's going to take us individually coming together and mending these fences. What we see, all of this stuff that's stirring the pot, all these crazy folk, and even when you see the lives that's talking about I'm boycotting, and Lisa Gabera, I'm really so disappointed in her. I'm so disappointed because you would think an older woman like that would know better. She's the main one talking about boycotting black folk, black African businesses. Are you crazy? Are you out of your dang on mind? I'm not boycotting nothing. The problem is not most Africans love white people and love being around them, and we don't. This is where the conflict lays. Well, you know what? I've seen where some do. And I've seen some that they will prefer white folk over black folk. I've seen that, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we need to stay focused on who the real enemy is. And it's not this face right here. Okay, it's
I'll be
more like,
honest with you, consider it like yo. I'm gonna be real. Like, you know why I stopped doing lives for like a long time. Besides with you, because black people been saying a lot of coon stuff for real. Especially doing this whole election stuff. I don't care where you're from. You've been killing me with this Democrat thing and Republican thing. They've been saying some. It's like coons like all over. You know what I'm saying? And we get it. You know. And the thing is, we are judging each other because, like, one thing I was gonna say earlier, right, where I disagreed when he was like, he was kind of pessimistic when he was like, the young people. I think that the younger generation actually has more focus and more hope than we do now,
yeah,
you know.
I do. I believe that. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe
People,
that that's
yeah,
how that
under
that
20.
little war or the civil right. I believe that they're gonna want to be the ones to do
Yeah,
it. I do believe that. The older
yeah,
people, we're gonna back up and let them do what they do because it
yeah.
ain't gonna be nothing we can do because they're already ready. They are already ready because they're tired of what they're seeing and they are fed up. They're fed
Mm-hmm.
up and they know the assignment. And I
Yeah,
just believe that it's gonna be any day now, and that's what I believe. I do believe that, especially when I saw the white dude get beat up and how they was really all
right.
out there
That's what I'm
doing,
saying.
Yeah, I do
Like,
believe, and it's not done because them white boys coming and they gonna do something because of what happened
mhm,
to the white boy. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna
yeah,
stir the pot a little bit. So I'm looking for something to happen within the next few months. I really
right.
believe that. What do you think, forecast?
Well, no, yo, definitely, because yo, black people is like yo more armed than we've ever been. Like, you got
Yeah,
to realize, like, all this stuff is like different. Like we was going through stuff in the 80s where they was had a war against us, a literal war against us, and more of us, and we comparing it, right? And the young generation is not wild like we was. I remember like you couldn't walk through certain neighborhoods. You remember how Jackson Ward was here in
Oh
the
man,
80s and 90s. You couldn't even
right.
walk through. Now white girls can jog through there, and you telling me
Where did
that this
yep.
generation is more screwed up than we were? Like, no,
Mm-mm.
like they are way more focused and way more on it than we have been. And that's why a lot of this stuff on the internet is like is there to keep us because we don't know who's even real or
Right.
fake or who's white or black or none of that stuff on here. And I was gonna say something about your girl Lisa, but I ain't gonna say that because I ain't gonna take it that far. But
Well, I'm
um,
just upset because I've heard some stuff and I see her running the charge with this boycott. And I'm just so disappointed because
mhm.
I thought she was, Israel. I thought she was woke, and that's not being woke. If you say you're woke, then you're not gonna just jump on the bandwagon. And she was the one, very first one, talking about the UN and trying to get our reparations. And I'm like, lady, governments don't talk to people; they talk to governments. And if they are trying to get your reparations, we should have enough common sense to get with them, partner up with AU, and say, hey, this is our demands. So when you go, I need you to read this paper off for us. Seriously. And what
Well,
are you fussing about when they say they're gonna help you? Who else is helping your black asses? I'm just
well, I
saying.
would say
Sorry, y'all.
I would say this about the A because they be like they're kind of like the Black Caucus, you know what I'm saying? They have they was against the brother in Burkina Faso and everything, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
really?
So like
AU.
yeah, that
Okay.
particular group. But like the problem is like when we say that and then we say all like we take your like European talking points
Mhm,
about each other all the
mhm.
time and we just be like Africans do like no, it's like it's coons. Like we have coons here and this is not and this is I don't like to even talk about it because I totally understand like for here like we have what we've been through and we had like we got rid of like the brother was saying like where we couldn't have that tribal stuff here in America because we had to realize we all black they coming at all of us, you know what I'm saying? So I totally
Yeah.
understand like that there's a difference in that, but like even when you have this mentality that makes you think like well this whole no, I'm pretty sure is a brother over there that you can get a connect that whatever business you're trying to do, you can probably get it wholesale or better from over
Yeah.
there. Why don't you think
Yeah.
about it on a small scale, on your own, saving your own children, your own grandchildren, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when
And
we talk, yeah, because when we use these talking points, then that they make us do that because okay, like, well, Europeans we know don't like Africans, but they're damn sure over there in Africa trying to get the resources.
thank
Chinese we
you.
know don't like Africans, but they don't stop them from doing business and going over there. You know what I'm saying? And it
And
don't stop the
smiling like they
Africans.
do.
Yeah,
Smiling
it's
like they
not
do. And marrying the women too.
having the baby so they can have the mulatto babies take
That's
over in
right.
years and
That's
send the resources back to them through the
there
children.
you
You know what I'm
go.
saying?
That's
Because
right.
everybody understands how race and racism work except for
Except
black
us.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Except black
Like
folks.
they use mulatto children to not
And
only as a buffer class, but to separate. It's just like they did in Haiti and even here in America in some cases, but they use all of these things. They use children for warfare. We don't. We got this
I don't even think
kind-hearted
think
thing
about that. Everybody should read that war book. What's the name of that war book?
on the art of war.
Yes, everybody should read that to understand how they operate. Because what is that? The Flower Moon. There's a movie about the Indians and the white men. They got together, killed up the Indians, and took their land. See, people not understanding. History just repeats itself. The same thing is going on in Africa with the African women and the Chinese men. They
Mm-hmm.
having them babies. Them babies gonna come in there and take the land. And now you got UK, UN coming into Kenya, getting ready to open up businesses, open up their offices in Kenya. That's some
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff right there. So that shows me that
Right.
somebody sold out somewhere, and that Kenya president needs to be he needs to have a whole seat. Seriously,
And,
because what
right.
he's doing is not good for black people. You bringing all the pedophilia, all the pedophiles, you bringing bestiality, you bringing
Mm-hmm.
homosexuality, you bringing LGBT amongst your people. Evil communication does not, honey, it corrupts good manners. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff you getting ready to bring on your people is not going to be good for anybody.
Right. And that's the problem. Like the leaders, black leadership, period, globally, that Europeans and Chinese, everybody understands how racism works. You put the leaders in power that you want to do what you want to do. And
Exactly.
we have to realize, well, we should put our own leaders who do what we want to do, or
Exactly.
like they get
And the
out of
leaders
there one way or
and the
another.
leaders just not doing what they supposed to do. They got to go.
It
Seriously,
got to
they
go
gotta
one
go.
way or another. One way or another. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's all I'm saying because, like, when we say like we like to be close to white, when y'all tell me, oh, lesser of two evils, and you still want to be closer to white people. Why you trying to save America? Why you trying to save democracy? Because you a coon too. We trying to save America. Talking about some African Americans. We ain't no damn Americans. You never been a citizen of America. You know what I'm saying? Like, but. I ain't gonna go there, Cassandra. I know you trying to get over here. I'm
You
sorry.
said, like you said, we've never been, and people don't understand that. People don't understand. They don't get it. They think they, oh, we mix and mingling and co. I read a comment. Somebody said we should all be like we were before we came together, and we, you know, I'm seeing more division. Talked about division. Talked about we should come back together. I said no, we should not, honey. We tried that, been there and done that. It didn't work. We're gonna continue delineating, being on our own. We're gonna talk about that. I think that's a good topic for next Sunday. A delineation and how do we do it, and how important it is for us to do it, to start counting on us. Like I said, I wasn't gonna be on her whole. I was only planning on being here like 40 minutes. We end up being 2 hours. Wasn't trying to be on here that long, but we are coming back on Sundays. At 5:30 every Sunday. We'll be here 5:30 with some great topics like this. We're gonna try not to stay so long. Forecast, I appreciate you for coming on
Yeah, I'm
with
sorry,
me. Thank you.
Cassandra.
And I want you to know it was good. It was too good. I couldn't cut it off because it was something I wanted us to talk about. We needed to. That was conversation, much needed conversation to
yeah,
talk about our brothers and sisters and how we need to come together and stay together. Give me your last words. What's your last words?
no, well, I was just gonna say, shouts out to that brother who was on here. Like, I
Yes.
agree with a lot of stuff he was saying. I appreciate his point of view and stuff like that. So, shouts out to that brother. Appreciate you. And we definitely gonna be back Wednesday and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
We'll
So
be back Wednesday, 8:30,
yeah.
unless we somebody running late.
Yeah, probably like
Every
eight.
Wednesday, you guys, come on, you got to tune in the forecast. The forecast, we do lives on every Wednesday, and we usually start at 8:30, sometime 9 o'clock, depending on our, personal lives. If they get in the way, then it's 9 o'clock, but usually it's 8:30. So hopefully we'll see everybody here tonight. We'll see them on the Wednesday show, and we have
Yeah.
some great topics there too. We on code there too, also. But we just trying to bring more awareness and more attention to our people to help us not to repeat some of this stuff that I'm seeing that we've done in the past. We're not trying to repeat stuff over and over. Let's learn from the past. Let's do better, because when you do better and you know better, you do better. And it's time for us to do a whole lot better than what we have been doing. And with that said, I'm going to end this live. Forecast, if you have anything else you can add. If not, we're going to end the live.
No,
Like I said, go ahead.
no, I said no. Peace, y'all. Peace. I
But
appreciate
thank you.
it,
Peace
Cassandra.
out. And we appreciate Marcos. We Mr. Blackman, and we had some other people that came on. William, he came on. DMP, thank you. Usual business DMP. Appreciate everybody. I'm going back 5-point star. Thank you for coming. Who is that? William. Let me see, where you at, William? William. Yep, thank you for coming, William Rivers. Willie, I'm sorry, Willie. I do appreciate everybody that came on. Thank you so much. Come on back next Sunday at 5:30. We're going to start talking about the move. We're going to start talking about how, if you want to leave America, how we can do that. But next weekend, we're going to talk about this delineation, because I think that's another great topic. With that said, as you know better, you do better. And let's start doing better. Peace, family. Take care and have a great rest of your day. And we'll talk on Wednesday. Bye for now.